Well, happy Friday, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. It is Friday, right? Did we play our Friday intro?
We did.
We did, okay. We were talking. We have something really good. And we were trying to figure out when to do it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
there it is.
the weekend.
Feels so good to make it to Friday. A long-ass week. I'll tell you that right now. Man, thanks for being here, everybody, on a Friday morning. Going to be here till 10 a.m. I'm Woodsy. Paul Rindle's our executive producer. And many people yesterday said, is there some kind of award that we can give Paulie for yesterday's alphabet bit? And I said, if there was a way to submit it to somewhere where he could win an award, I would. But there's not, as far as I know. You know, there's no. I'd love to do. I wish they had some sort of weekly.
Paulie would win the droppies every
the
year.
drop. Oh, 100%. I mean, bro, it would be like he would have to like host it and be like, all right, everybody else fall at my feet. It's such a great bit.
It's like Meryl Streep. He'd just be up there.
Just be up there every time.
So honored to win the droppies again.
Yeah.
As the best drop producer in radio.
Oh, I'm so surprised. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like Dirk Diggler up there. Just I promise to keep kicking ass. Paulie does his karate chop at the end. No, it was truly incredible. And and Ben, let me introduce Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor as well. I usually when you post something on Instagram after a great bit, and let me just say, this has been one of the best weeks we've had in a long, long time, maybe ever. As far as now, today is still up in the air, right? You don't know, but the first 4 days of this week, I have enjoyed immensely. It's great to be back in the studio with my boys. Great to be here with the tier ones. Team, even the team didn't play all that great, since I got back. But hey, man, everybody's vibes are high. The playoffs, not everybody's, as we'll find out later. But the playoffs are in the we can see them right in front of us. It's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out. But usually when you post a bit like that, there's at least one a-hole. At least one a-hole that's like shouldn't even about sports. There's always one on an Instagram feed. Always. I'm scrolling through the messages. Paul of Famer. I laughed my ass off. I replayed it multiple times. P as in pork is crazy. Laughing emoji. 6 laughing emojis. 7 laughing emojis. 5 laughing emojis. Well done, gents. Lol, you guys make my morning so enjoyable. Thank you. I laughed so hard. Teen in the car was less impressed and looked at me like I was 12. So he didn't like him. He's 12. He didn't know. He didn't know anything. All-timer. Did not realize Ben had so many references in his repartee. So good. Simply elite content. Epic. I'm going to keep watching this over and over. I hope they pay you guys a lot of money because this S is really funny. I had a great laugh driving into work. Tears coming down my face. Pork. Apple new. Paul, we the people appreciate you and your cuts. Thank you for this. I was dying listening to this. This made my week. Pure gold. Haven't laughed that hard in a long time. No mean comments for once.
It's pretty funny.
Not one mean comment. Even the meanest of Mr. Grinch is like, all right, it's pretty funny. I'll give you that. Was pretty funny. I enjoyed it immensely. Great work by all. Got a phone call yesterday from John down the hall. He goes, first of all, the alphabet bit was unbelievable. Mailman Jack was like, this is unreal, guys. So
as in all girls all the time.
I really, really enjoyed that. So it was great. It was great. A great job. I laughed all day. I replayed it several times. I played it for the kids. My kids running around the house saying loose cannabis, ganja, a.k.a. cannabis. Bo goes, what is it? What is
ganja,
cannabis?
a.k.a. cannabis.
It's marijuana. It's a marijuana.
We're not
cigarette.
Exactly raising the discourse among children
No,
in San
we're not.
Diego.
But we're not hurting it
that's
either.
true.
I don't think we're hurting. Like, look where they live. It's
G as in ganja, a.k.a. cannabis.
They love it so much.
God, it's funny.
They love it so much. So we will, I was very happy with it, and people were nice, and it was great. And we got in this morning, though, and there was tell everybody what's in front of you. Is it time to promote this or not?
Paulie, we've got the next big, well, not the next big giveaway, but in the future, the Dylan Cease no-hitter bobblehead. Got one of the first ones here in San Diego, other than the one that Mud and Don get to show off all the time. It's the one they're going to be giving away on September 10th against the Cincinnati Reds. Okay. To the first 40,000 fans. I asked Paulie, are we giving this away on the show today? And he goes, I don't think so. It's just here.
Yeah, maybe in the future, but not today.
Yeah, but you know what else he said? He goes, well, who would want it?
That's mean.
And I said,
it's mean.
I just said, because you were like, oh, I'll take that home if we're able to. And I'm like, oh, I don't, maybe not yet. I was like, do you really want a Dylan Cease bobblehead?
You're
And
always
it has nothing to do with, honestly, how it has nothing to do with how he's pitching. It's just he's here for like 4 more starts.
a little
and
bit to do
playoffs.
with how he's pitching.
It probably has
I
a lot
mean,
to do.
you're always taking a risk. Padres have been pretty lucky when it comes to some of their giveaways because if your team doesn't play well, you could trade away stars. There's been a lot of clubs that have had a second half giveaway of a player they traded away at the deadline, and they're stuck with tens of thousands of bobbleheads of a guy that's not even on their team anymore.
Yeah, that happens.
And
all the
this
time.
could have happened. And the Padres had 2, a Dylan Cease. They have a Luis Arraez bobblehead still coming up later in the year, the Sprinkler a la Regadera bobblehead. And, both of those guys were in the last year of their contracts. And if the season hadn't gone well, they both would have been. I mean, Dylan Cease was kind of discussed in trades at the deadline, but was still with the team. So it certainly happens. But the Padres, for the most part, have gotten pretty lucky, pretty solid with their giveaways that they're always hot commodities. And, the no-hitter is still the no-hitter. It's the second one in Padres history.
I'll concede a little bit for sure. If it's, the no-hitter bobblehead, like commemorating that moment, totally different. But if they had like a Robert Suarez bobblehead on September 15th, I'd be like, and I love Robert Suarez, but I'm like, he's not going to be here in like a couple months.
He might be.
He's probably
you
gone.
never
Probably
know.
gone.
Opt out. But you ask the question of, well, who would want it? And I'll tell you who would want it. My children would want it. They are obsessed with bobbleheads. Not really. Bo likes to get them, look at them, and then put them in their spot, a designated spot, and then he forgets we have them. But he likes to have the whole collection. He's very important to him. Taylor likes to play with them.
Oh, like action figures.
Like Taylor, when I say he covets bobbleheads. Bo was in his room the other day. He goes, "What's this?" and starts pulling bobble. We have in my office we have a bureau, and it's got almost like a wire screen that you slide it open, and we have all the bobbleheads there. This dude creeps out of bed, comes in, grabs the ones he wants, takes them to his room, and hides them in his room. So Bo finds the Boba Fett one. It was Manny Boba Fett, I think, and then I think he took Snellzilla. He had those hidden in his room like a little hoarder. And then Bo is scrolling through Taylor's cards, and he goes, "Hey, this one's mine, and this one's mine, and these are my cards."
You got a little klepto.
And I go, "Taylor, what did you do?" He goes, "I like it." And I go, "What do you mean you like it?" And I go, "You can't just steal stuff that you like." And he goes, and I said, "Do you understand what I'm saying?" And he goes, "I like those. I like those." And Bo has them and I don't. I go, "So you're telling me in the cover of night, you went into his room, you grabbed his binder, you took his Ellie De La Cruz cards, you brought him into your room, put him in your own sleeve?" He goes, "Yes." "Why?" "Because I like it. I like it." And I was like, "Well, how do I argue with that?" I go, "Taylor, you can't take stuff. You're not supposed to take the bobbleheads." He's a little thief. And I'm scared. I got to
in the middle of the night.
I got to lock my wallet up. This guy's going to be stealing 20s out of my wallet before I know it.
I liked it.
There is something rational. It's still wrong. Stealing is wrong.
Stealing is wrong.
But he is acknowledging that his value is higher than anyone else.
Correct.
And that he feels like, hey, if I'm getting more enjoyment out of this, I should have it. As long as he feels the other way, like Bo, if he enjoyed something of mine more than I do, then Bo should be able to just take that.
I don't know.
That would be okay.
There's no trading here. Now, Bo is not completely innocent in this, by the way. Those Ellie De La Cruz cards, he has completely fleeced kids in the neighborhood for. So he'll come home and he's like, "Look what I got." I mean, I'm like, "Where'd you get a Sandy Koufax card?" He's like, "I traded with Jackson for it." I go, "What'd you give up?" He's like, "Nick Martinez." I'm like, "You turd." And then I'm like, there is a part of me that's like, pretty good business there.
Is he a salesman
Yeah,
on
like,
this? You remember Nick Martinez?
Like,
he was on the Padres. You definitely going to want
you'll
this
love
one.
this guy. Yeah, he's a Red now, but like he was a Padre great, and he is out there. The dude's out there fleecing kids in the neighborhood, but then he gets his card stolen from his brother. So one big circle.
We've heard about Taylor's late night escapades in the past. You guys need to better bug your house. I need boom mics and cameras, because the idea of him just waking up at 1 a.m. and
putting on a Darth Vader mask, grabbing a sword, a plastic sword, and just walking around the house. The other day he goes, "I was asleep. Hannah hadn't gotten home yet. She's home now." And he goes, "Bo and I saw something in the kitchen." And I go, when were you in the kitchen? He goes, last night. And I go, where was I? He goes, you were asleep. I go, what? These kids could be burning the house? I had no idea they were up. I go, stay in your bed. I go, bro, we're getting to the point where I'm going to have to start locking you in your room, right? And that's very dangerous. And that's not something we want to do. But I can't have you up patrolling the house and running around in your mask. He has full costume like parties with himself in the middle of the night. So I really don't know what to do about it, but he does have the sticky fingers, man. He is out there. He's out there stealing bobbleheads, cards, anything he can get his hands on.
That is so funny.
We are so dead, man. Yeah. Captain says Wood's getting it back tenfold for all he did to his parents. You are. I will say this. I was an absolute angel child until I was 16. Like
16.
Like an angel child. Got in a little trouble at school for talking and things like that, but nothing major. 16 years old, women, cars, cigarettes, the whole bit. That's when I just went.
Who was the bad influence on you?
We all were bad influences on each other. It was girls, dude. Girls was like what we all were like, we just, the hormones hit. And I was not a drinker. I was like, all my friends had gotten drunk way before me. I remember them in 8th grade bringing a bottle of mixed liquor that they like poured a little bit from each. And we were all standing outside at the dance and they're like drinking. I'm like, I'm not drinking. I'm not a degenerate.
Yeah.
And they all got in trouble. I didn't. I was such a good, sweet, I was a reader, listened to my music, but like I was not a bad kid. And then 16 hit and it was like, what the hell happened? My parents was like, what the hell happened to you?
Dude, it was 17 for me. Same thing. Like pretty good kid. Didn't get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Didn't really party too much. Even if I went to a party, still just kind of minded my own business. Yeah. 17. Like girls, dude, they can make you.
They
do
made me
anything
insane.
at 17.
They made me insane.
Like that was the first night I ever drank alcohol was like because a girl was there.
Yeah,
and
me too.
Like, there's a chance of making out with Katie Weesey tonight.
Erica
like,
Crane, baby. 100%.
I'll
never forget it.
Sure.
Vodka poppers.
What is that, Rolling Rock? Bring it on. Like, yes.
Bean says I'm capping right now. I'm not capping. I'm telling you, my parents would call in and tell you he really gave us not a lot of trouble until really he got his license and discovered, the female form.
Yeah.
Tell me the story of your first cigarette. You remember? Like,
yeah, I do. Because
I've never had one.
Yeah,
and I don't really want to. But I'm wondering that first one seems like it's a bridge to cross.
It's like, pretty nuts. So I actually tried cigarettes before I tried anything, and I was my uncle Mike, kind of was my surrogate father in the gap
before
right?
Gary.
Yeah, and then like I would go in the summer and like hang out with him when I would come home to Texas when we lived elsewhere. And he smoked Benson and Hedges. And I just thought my Uncle Mike was the coolest.
Like the women's tennis tournament
sponsors. Yeah,
the Benson and Hedges Open.
And I just thought he was the coolest guy. And I thought if he smokes, and I loved all the music that he turned me on to. So I was like, if he smokes, I'll smoke. So and my sweet Aunt Karen watches this show almost every day from Texas. That's his wife. So sorry, it's not your fault. I'm the bad seed. But I was like, he's the coolest. So I remember swiping one of his cigs. And I remember the disgusting tar taste. And it didn't last long. I was probably 12, 13. And I was like, I don't like this. But then, other kids start doing it. You have one. You get hooked pretty quick. It gets you pretty good. Once you learn how to do it, you're like, ooh, I like that feeling. And gets you pretty quick.
It's funny. We're 15 years apart. But a lot can happen in those 15 years because I think by the time I started getting into like middle school and high school, it was pretty not cool to smoke.
When I was in school,
they had beaten that message into everybody.
When I was in school, it was the coolest,
yeah.
Which is the worst thing ever. All the cool girls where you're like, they had a smoking area that like their parents would drop them off at 16 years old. And they're like, see you later, mom. And everyone would go fire up heaters.
I can't think
of
any
official smoking area.
It was nuts. But like it's where everyone went to smoke. And it's not like it was back in the woods.
Smoker's alley.
It was like where teachers and stuff could see all the cool kids smoked, all of them. And so you were like,
you were like a weird degenerate, you're like for my generation.
Ostracized.
You're like, nobody was picking up chicks because they smoked.
Right,
Like,
right. It was the
if you
opposite.
had alcohol, like, or hey, we're drinking tonight at somebody's house. Like,
But
that was one
It's
thing.
Paulie there is definitely an age where it changed. Like I was remembering, I mentioned the Benson and Hedges Open. Everything was sponsored by cigarettes back then.
Everything.
The Winston Cup series,
Yeah,
the Virginia
cigarettes.
Slims.
Yep.
This, I mean,
Yeah.
the advertising was everywhere.
Yeah.
The giant. You go to a Padres game at Jack Murphy Stadium, the huge billboard in right field, just Marlboro.
Yeah.
With the Marlboro
Yeah.
Man. I mean, it was everywhere.
Well, I told you too. Like, so I saw that scene in Footloose where he is all pissed off, and I loved Footloose. And he drives into the thing, and he has a beer, and he smokes, drinks a beer, blows the cigarette smoke out. I go, I'm in. I got to be whatever that is. I got to do it. I was very, very influenced by things. Always have been. So that was kind of the first scene, and coupled with my uncle, I thought who hung the moon. Yeah, swiped one of his cigs and got after it. But listen,
I never inhaled the first time I
No,
smoked a cigarette.
we didn't know.
And
We had
like
no
my
idea.
buddy was like, "Are you doing that right?" I'm like,
yeah,
totally. Like,
Totally, yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. He's like, I thought you'd be like damn near throwing up.
yeah.
And then I actually inhaled. And was very close to throwing up.
Yeah, it's really, it's terrible for you. My kids are like, oh, I'll never smoke a cigarette. Good. That's the message we want. But apparently they will steal and fleece kids in the neighborhood.
Lou says San Diego had Cancer Court. That was the high school in North
Cancer
County. He says, what
Court.
did they call the smoking spot at Torrey Pines? I have no idea, Lou. I stayed as far away from the half a dozen kids
You're
who were the
asking
smokers
Ben
as
what the
possible.
smoking
Like, I would
section was
know what the
called?
smoking section was called.
Just incredible. Incredible.
And I was like, I was in the library.
Yeah, Ben was in the library. Ben was helping the teacher erase the blackboard.
I did like to do that.
Yeah, I know you did. So yeah, there's my boys. Just but again, they're paying me back for all the things I did. They're just starting way earlier than I feel like I did in my youth.
All right, we're going to get going here on a Friday morning. It is a FRIAR Friday. We'll let you know who our Padres guest is going to be as we set the menu coming up. And as Woods mentioned, I do have an interesting Padres fan story to tell you about. That's all coming up after a check of traffic with Kelly Danick here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Good morning. Dry roads making all the difference in this morning's commute. Yeah, we're really not showing any problems at all out of the South Bay. East County ride checks out nicely. No delays coming down from the North County. We do have reports of a collision north 15 before Deer Springs Road. It's in the center divide, fortunately not causing any slowing. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Padres fan psychology is something that we've addressed quite a bit this season between the doomers and the optimists, but someone was taking it to the next level yesterday, and I will tell you the story as I was getting the text updates from my buddy Scott of maybe the most miserable Padres fan alive that he got to meet on the golf course yesterday in Oceanside. So we'll talk about that. Padres were off yesterday, but other teams in action. Had a 4-home-run game from Kyle Schwarber
I love
yesterday. Tell you where the Padres stand going into this weekend series against the Minnesota Twins. We can also mention the San Diego State football team. Congratulations on the win last night. I was there pregame doing live shots, seeing the atmosphere, and pretty good performance, actually. We can talk a little bit about SDSU football.
How
Giants.
was the atmosphere?
So I knew it wasn't sold out, and it wasn't. It was, half to 3/4 full. I mean, by the time the game started, it was half full. The student section was full, which I was impressed by, but they have some work to do. Now, the performance may convince some people to give them a shot because they did play quite well. And they did go to the danger zone in the fourth quarter. Paulie, that's
How
their new
was it?
bit.
Were you there? You didn't say the
I
whole
would
game.
no. I was long gone by then, but I did watch the game at the end on television.
I watched the first half.
That's pretty good.
And it was, I go, well, this looks like football. This looks like an entertaining brand of football. You run the ball pretty well.
Very few mistakes.
Play action.
Mhm.
You went for it on 4th down, throwing a great throw to the tight end, great catch by the time. I'm like, okay, like this looks like a football game.
Got a good crew of running backs.
Yeah.
The defense
The defense
is
looked
very
really,
solid.
as always, right? But like that quarterback looked really, really good.
Much better than last season already.
No doubt.
You can tell that
Already.
they've taken a step forward, which is a good sign. Now, do it against a real team. next week, and we'll see if they can keep that up after beating an FCS team last night.
Final score was
42-0.
42 zip. What'd they hang in the first?
20.
Yeah,
20.
So it was basically
two good solid halves
of offense and defense.
Didn't get any turnovers, just kept going 3 and out. So it was good performance by the Aztecs football team. So we talk a little bit about that. Then at 7:35, a little early FRIAR Friday guest, we will be joined by our friend and Padres assistant general manager, Josh Stein, is going to join the program. Kind of
Steiner.
His turn in the rotation. Really good guy. We are curious about the status of the Padres minor leagues after all the trades and prospects sent away at the deadline. Now, AJ always argued Padres may be ranked in the bottom third of the minor leagues, but we think our system is better than that. They're now ranked dead last.
Yeah, 30th.
In the updated after the trade deadline minor league standings. Does Josh Stein think the Padres have some prospects that they're not getting credit for that were remaining in the organization? We'll talk to him at 7:35 and get his take on the rest of the season as well. Then at 8:35, we've moved Darren Smith back a little bit later, but he'll join us for his weekly SDFC and Padres conversation. SDFC playing the Sunday night matchup at LAFC, another big game on the road for our MLS club. So we'll talk with Darren Smith. Coming up at 8:35 this morning, we have some more Padres tickets to give away, as we've been doing all week. I advise you, pay attention to the show. We'll call back something from earlier as a question to give away some Padres-Orioles tickets for the September 2nd game next Tuesday. It's the Manny Machado City Connect basketball jersey night. And then, of course, our regular features, Don't Do This, Take On Woods, and the Rindle Report as we head toward 10 o'clock and a 3-day weekend. Labor Day weekend.
That's right.
I love it. Excited. I'll be ready.
I'm excited.
I'll be ready to get back to work on Tuesday.
I would think so.
Yeah.
At this point in the baseball season, it feels like it's 4 games, right? That we're going to be missing here. Friday,
4
Saturday,
games
Sunday.
to
talk about on Tuesday. A whole lot can happen. Padres could be 2 games up on the Dodgers. They could be 6 games back in the Dodgers by the time we get back for another show. It just feels like it's almost too long to go in between episodes of Ben and Woods at this time of the year.
But I don't give him any ideas because Adam will say, if you want to come in and work, you can. And I'm going to pass.
It's still Labor Day, and hopefully everyone gets to enjoy their holiday weekend this weekend.
Yeah.
But we will get started, and I will tell you the story of probably the world's most miserable Padres fan when we come back with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
That is such a bold statement, Ben.
I know.
The most miserable. Listen, this weekend, we were just talking about Labor Day. If you are looking to get a new automobile, this is a great time to do it. You guys know that every year, right? The Labor Day sale, the extravaganzas that are going on. That's what you need to do. It's a good time. Great prices, especially at Sedano Ford and Lincoln in La Mesa. Incredible Labor Day savings all month long, actually. But if you got a buck, get a truck. Lease the all-electric 2025 Ford Lightning, $1 down, $349 a month. Or take that same buck, go get the 2025 Mustang Mach-E Select, just $310 a month. How about that? You can do it both, actually. $2 gets you 2 cars. What about that? If you've been waiting for a luxury upgrade, the Lincoln Corsair is just $449 a month. Comfort, class, and confidence in every drive. Labor Day is about your hard work, and your reward is waiting for you at Sedano Ford and Lincoln in La Mesa. Go see them today or visit SedanoFord.com to lock in these Labor Day savings. Tell them Woods sent you. Last thing is, I want to congratulate my man Manny Sedano on the opening of the new Chevy dealership in Santee today. So now he's got Ford, he's got Chevy, he's got Lincoln. He's got you covered, is what I'm telling you. More details you can find at Sedano Ford or SedanoLincoln.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
I get Padres fans, you're going to approach the rest of the season in your own way. You know, some will be diehard optimistic until the day it's over or the day they win the World Series.
Yep.
Others are expecting the rug to be pulled out from under them or expecting to be disappointed. And I think that's fair both ways. But my buddy Scott told me a story yesterday of what I think may be San Diego's most miserable Padres fan.
That is such a bold statement.
It is
Cotton.
bold.
I mean, I know
It is
some
bold.
real doomers. Doomers.
I told you, Scotty recently retired.
Yep.
I'm jealous.
SOB.
Age 50. He has walked away from his career, and as any good retiree will do, he's playing a bunch of golf without me during the week. You know,
You're dying
it's
right
Thursday
now.
morning. I got no work. I'm going to go play golf. So he headed up to Arrowwood in Oceanside yesterday.
Big Arrowwood fan.
Now, the only problem with,
Beautiful course.
you know, when you're retired and none of your friends are, you have no one to play with. So
Yes, you have to play with a bunch of old retirees that may be insane and try to kill a squirrel with the driver on a golf course at the very same course.
true. That's right. You were there at Arrowwood with that.
We have video of it.
Mike.
He missed a shot at one point and he punched the top of the cart and it would sound like a gunshot. He was like
repeatedly,
bam, mother ever, bam, bam, bam. It's crazy town when you're playing.
And then a squirrel got near his ball, and he was like
try to kill it.
trying to kill it.
Well, you remember, like you said, it's 11. His tea time's like whatever.
Yeah.
9, 10 in the morning. It's going to be a bunch of retired dudes.
Well, this guy was not a retired guy. Now, of course, golf courses have the policy that they can't give away 4 different carts for 4 singles. So you got to share the cart. So he's put in a cart with a guy who, you know, seems to be in his late 30s. Not sure why he's off that day, but he says by hole 5, he's already on White Claw number 4, sitting in his cart on a Thursday morning. And he texts me and he goes, He's a Padres fan, but he's an angry Padres fan.
Okay.
He says he hates every move they've made.
Everyone.
Every move? I said, like, even Laureano, everyone
Hates it.
Everyone loves that move. He goes, hey, he said he preferred the team when they weren't good, I think. Like, he can't handle the team actually being competitive and good.
At least he admitted that.
I guess so. He said he complained about AJ giving away all the prospects, trading away the farm system, years of control.
Valid. Okay. Valid. Absolute valid concern.
Yeah, certainly a valid concern. I said, but then he said he hates the pitch clock. And I go, okay, that's one that I have not really heard this year.
Okay. Same with me.
He's
in his mid-30s, too.
Honestly, I said, at that point, I said, what is this guy in his like 70s? He goes, no, he's like in his late 30s. And I go, really?
Hates the pitch
and he
clock?
hates the pitch clock.
Did he?
And that's a Padres move?
It's not a Padres move, but he just was kind of listing through all the things that he hates.
Now, do you think he's is he a former player? Did you get that sense?
I did not get that sense.
Okay.
I did not get that sense.
Okay.
So I kind of said to Scott, have you brought up my name? Because I said that could lead to a tirade.
Does he know who I am?
Does he know about the
Ben
Ben
Wood
Woods
show?
show?
Does he know who I am?
Well, I mean, I'm friend, like, hey, my friend is Ben from Ben Woods.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what
I'm friends with Scott, too. Scott listens to the show.
Scott said,
Good morning, Scott.
no, he might hate you.
Hi, Scott.
And I said, well, there's a very good chance of it based on what I'm hearing so far. So he gets to the he gets to the sixth hole, or the sixth White Claw, actually.
Sixth White Claw.
He said, okay, so I said, I'm actually friends with one of the radio hosts at their station. And he said, well, like Ben and Woods? And Scott goes, yes, like Ben and Woods. Ben's, my best friend for the last 30 years. And he goes, he hates everyone at your station, every single host.
All right. Fair
He said, wouldn't give a specific necessarily. He just then went on a rant about they're not tough enough on the manager or the general manager.
Yeah,
they need to ask tougher questions. They need to, hold the team's feet to the fire every single time.
Yep.
And then at the end of the round, because Scott kind of decided, okay, maybe I just don't want to keep
don't want to
just keep poking the bear the entire way. He said at the end, he said he walked off the course and made some sort of weight joke about Ben, like, "Oh, tell Ben lose some lbs." I'm going, okay, well, probably hasn't watched the show in a couple of years since the sdfatloss.com days, but he certainly was perhaps a viewer or a listener in the past, but has
not anymore. Fat boy,
kind of given up on us at that point. I'm going, God, this guy is like the most miserable Padres fan,
man.
How did you gain all the weight?
Just stop. I've said it before. You're there. If you want to say I'm concerned about our future, I think the guys should be tougher on the team. That's all valid. We hear it all the time. It's not that big a deal. Doesn't end my day. When you wrap it up with a personal shot, you're a piece of S. I'm sorry, man. Like you're out there sucking down 6, 7, 8 White Claws. I bet he drove home. I bet he did. You're a sack of ass. If you're listening right now, I'll put your feet to the fire. You don't do that, dude. You don't do that. You're a piece of ass. Sorry. I'll say it to your face too. Like, that's such a weak move. Like, tell Ben to lose. This is his best friend that he's talking to.
Right.
Tell him to lose some pounds. Bro, go to therapy. Go to therapy. There's something wrong with you.
I get not getting your hopes up too much because you don't want to be disappointed.
Of course, I do that. We all protect
I understand that. But this message
what a turd.
is not just to the golfer from yesterday that played with Scott, but this one from me is to all Padres fans. Please at least take a little bit of time to enjoy what we have here.
My ears are burning. I'm so mad right now.
A pennant race. A team that is willing to go for it. Yeah, they may have cost themselves some prospects in the future.
He really misses Boston Bateman and what he brings to the squad.
The point of this, supposedly, is trying to win a World Series. And the Padres are trying to win the World Series. Will they do it? Probably not.
Yeah,
as we
right?
said,
the odds are against them.
They're now one of 12 teams that will probably make the playoffs and have a chance at it. But 1 in 12 is still not very good odds. You have to overcome long odds. And Scott said, he told me later, he just feels like the team is going to get there, but they're not going to be good enough, and ultimately they're going to be disappointing us.
Well, welcome to being a baseball fan.
And that is true. That is absolutely true. But I think for me, the point of being a baseball fan you've got to enjoy the ride a little bit. Yes, there's going to be some ups and downs. There's going to be some bad weeks and disappointment along the way. But if you can't take even just a little bit of satisfaction in the fact that the Padres are 16 games above 500, just 2 games behind the Dodgers with 28 games to play, and are in absolutely the thick of the race to win a World Series title this year. And they are. There's no team that can say, we are definitely way ahead of the Padres at this point.
Right.
There just isn't. Then I feel like you're missing some of the good stuff here in life.
I mean,
being a sports fan.
There are people that watch the game and, and they identify as Padres fans, but there is something to that thing of like, well, see, I told you, we've all done it. We've all had our players that we looked at and went, God, yep, I told you. I knew it. I said it. I knew it. You find yourself rooting for them to get off your team. I've had probably 4 or 5 over the years, right? Like of guys that I went, the day he's off this team, I will be so elated. I don't have any of those really. And I don't think I have for a while. The roster that's put together is pretty great. It's pretty great. And they're pretty easy dudes to root for. All of them. Do they have slumps? Absolutely. They have slumps. They're human. Do they say dumb stuff? Sure. They absolutely do. But I think for the big picture, when I look at the lineup, I root for every one of these guys, and I really dig them, and I think they dig each other. That makes me happy. To have a team, if you had a team full of quote-unquote mercenaries, which is a term that's been thrown around a lot here the last few years, and you watch them and you're like, oh, you guys loathe each other, and everyone knows it, and it leaks out, and we hear this, and we heard this. That's not fun. Even if they win a lot, that's still not great. Like you'll take it, but you like what you have with these dudes that genuinely like each other. They play really hard. They don't win every ball game. But I don't see a mentally weak team with a bunch of dudes I don't want to root for. And I feel like we really do have the whole package right now. And again, will they win the World Series? The answer is probably not. Probably not, because the odds are stacked against them because it's so hard to do.
But the answer for the Dodgers is also probably
of course.
not.
I was gonna say,
Of
for
course.
every team, it's
The answer
probably
for
not.
the Red Sox and the Yankees and the Mets and the Phillies is probably not.
Yeah.
But
Somebody's got to do it.
guess what? Someone will win the World Series in 2 months from now, or 2 months and a couple of days from now. Someone is going to lift the World Series trophy, and there's no reason why it can't be the San Diego Padres
No
this
question.
year.
No question. And you have a shot. And I think as a sports fan, that's what you ask for. And again, he's one of those guys that if we won it in 6, he'd want to win it in 5. If we won it in 7, he'd want to win it in 6. He'd want to be in this uniform. And can't believe we did that. And there are people that watch it and they're longing for the guy that they hate or whatever to make mistakes so that they can go to Twitter or Blue Sky and post it. And listen, that is a way to fan. I've done it. I'm not saying you're wrong. But it's just with these guys, my personal feeling is I really like this team. I really like these dudes. And him looking at your best friend at the end and telling you to lose weight, it's such a clown move. It pisses me off. So I'm so sick of bullies like that, bro.
Scotty may have taken some shots at me too. He does that from time to time.
Well,
So
I doubt he was like, hey, isn't Ben a fat ass? Don't you agree? I doubt that very much.
Is it? Would you say it's accurate that some people would rather be right than be happy?
100. Oh my God. So that's the quote of the day. Yeah.
In sports, it's very easy to be right when you predict failure.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This
what did I
isn't-
say? 81 and 81.
This team isn't good enough.
I'm so happy to be wrong.
Because most of the time you're going to be right. When you predict bad things and failure, ultimately you will be rewarded.
Especially in baseball.
By being right.
Especially in baseball.
But wouldn't you rather be rewarded in the end every once in a while by being
wrong?
Happy.
And happy.
Yeah.
Being wrong in this business oftentimes means you're very happy. Means you're very happy. And it happens to me all the time. You're not going to get any power from this guy. Boom, home run. I'll wear the egg. I'm happy to wear the egg because that means we probably won that game. But yeah, I like that a lot, Benny. And I'm sorry that guy said that. I think it's lame. And that guy needs some help. And you look great. So I don't know what he's talking about.
Thank you. And I didn't bother me in the least bit. It's fine.
Bothers me.
Personal shots, personal appearance attacks, just doesn't bother me.
All right, well, let's see. Your legs are very white at the top.
They
They're
are,
very
especially
creamy, and
when
I
you
have
look
to
it up.
sit and stare at your
I know.
hairy, creamy legs.
It's just been so hot and humid.
It has.
I was outside at Snapdragon Stadium yesterday from about 4 to 7 before the game doing live shots.
Was it raining on
melting. It was raining, and then it was incredibly hot, and then it was just bizarre, just so sticky, like you were in Florida for a while. But then it kind of got cool and nice. So it was. We ran the whole gamut of seasons before the game at Snapdragon Stadium yesterday. We can talk a little bit more about the Aztecs and the drama in the NFL. We don't touch on it much, but wow. That was a shocker that happened yesterday. We will get to that after a check of traffic with Kelly here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Robert Half. Tow truck is helping to clear a crash on North End 15 before Deer Springs Road. It's in the center divide. So far, everything's looking great coming down from the North County. East County ride is in good shape. That includes your westbound 52 out of Santee. And we're not showing any brake lights out of the South Bay just yet. If you are leaving for the Labor Day weekend, or driving, let's just say, it's advised that you try and leave by noon. This afternoon's commute could prove to be a brutal one. You've been warned. At Robert Half, they found that 67% of companies want to increase contract talent. That's why the recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI work quickly to find the candidates you want. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Our pal in the chat, Orthodox Evans, said, hot and humid. Don't forget who's hanging drywall down here on the Texas Gulf Coast. He DM'd me yesterday and he said, hey, you ever want to hang drow, you let me know if you're down here. And I go, ooh, like a real man fantasy camp. It would be the greatest. They show Ben is sawing 2x4s. Paulie's nailing stuff into the wall.
I will let you know, Orthodox Evans. You may think it's that easy, but we had tons of equipment to lug from a far parking lot.
Way far. Cameras,
tripods, lights, everything to set up our live shot. Now, was I the one carrying it? No, but someone had to carry it.
You felt bad for them. Oh, by the way, and
her name was Ginny, and she's about 4 feet 7 inches tall, and has worked at Channel 10 for the last 35 years, and she is a absolute gem. We also had Gerald to help carry some stuff as well. I had my backpack. I did bring my backpack with my computer.
On your back?
Yeah.
You made Ginny carry it?
Well, if I carry it all, I'm going to be sweating like an absolute pig by the time we get to the live shot and look terrible. So I can't really do a lot of heavy manual labor as I'm walking to the live shot.
We are never beating.
She had a wagon.
Diva alligator.
She did have a wagon, and when we were going up the hill, the unpaved hill with the gravel, I helped push a little bit to make sure she didn't fall over.
That's
or anything.
The one that you said, oh, Ginny, my little mule is what you called her. So this is our little pack mule is what he says about her. I did want to tell Orthodox, though, the Galveston drywaller, his son is turning 10 today, Noah. He's a huge Ben & Woods fan, Noah Evans. So happy birthday, Noah.
Happy birthday, Noah.
Noah, just follow your dad's lead and not ours, right? You want a real man around.
Don't start smoking cigarettes.
Don't start
at age
smoking
10
cigarettes
like Rhodes or whatever
correct.
it was.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
I guarantee you, Noah's more of a man than we are.
There's no doubt. If his dad's hanging drywall in the Galveston humidity, he's way more of a man than we. Man. Well, I'd like to apologize to Ginny, by the way, for having to lug Prince's gear around for him over here. God.
There is a certain amount of guilt you feel as you're walking.
Of course.
Elton Higgins.
It's like me making my kids carry all my stuff. Get my stuff. Let's go. Unbelievable, man.
Chivalry is dead. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing.
I never saw Ted Leitner carrying around all the gear when he was doing his live television hits for Channel 8 back in the day.
Now, my wife, I would challenge my wife, who is teaching me to be less of a misogynistic creep every day. I'm learning. I would tell my wife. So my wife, if she said, why wouldn't you carry it? You made Ginny carry it? I'd say, I thought, are we not? Am I supposed to treat people different based on? And that would be my pushback. But I think the gentlemanly thing to do is you carry the heavy gear and let Ginny maybe carry your backpack for you. I don't know.
That would be gentlemanly.
I just am trying to. I'm trying to.
But we did have Gerald as well,
and Gerald as well
came along to help.
All right.
Carry some of the equipment since it was a bit of a
honest answer,
onerous live shot.
Honest answer. Did you walk in front of them? Honest.
No, I walked behind them.
Walk behind them.
Yeah.
I pictured you.
I was pushed because I wanted to help push the wagon up the hill, so I was right behind her.
Dub J says Ted would not carry his car keys if he did not have to, with love. Well, we did hear a story yesterday on the roundtable from our own Matt Scraby about somebody that he worked with in the industry that was a bit of a diva and sent him to buy tampons. And in the middle of a show, was like, you need to run down to Vaughn's and get me some tampons. Found out also the same day, she sent another intern to get her car washed the same day. And I went, all right, now that's even outside of
never, once maybe, but never. I really don't send interns for things.
I sent Hammer for a couple of things, but he wasn't an intern, and I paid him to do it.
You did.
I was like, I'm slammed. I'll give you $20. Can you go get me this? He's like, no problem, dude. So
I was not carried like on a litter all the way from the
like
lot.
One of those where they put the kings and stuff.
Yeah,
that's really good. I like the diva tendency sometimes. It makes for good content.
I know. I thought you thought that was
like
amusing.
A pharaoh. Yes, they carried you in like a pharaoh into the snap.
Pharaoh.
A pharaoh. That's how we say it in Texas. Pharaoh. It's great.
The days of the pharaohs have returned.
Sorry to Jenny and Gerald.
Yeah,
we get it.
Just quickly mentioned it. Aztecs won 42-0 over Stony Brook, which is again a Division I FCS team. So I have no idea how good they're going to be. They were ranked in the preseason top 25 on that level. That's USD's level, though.
Okay,
less scholarships. Obviously, no NIL money generally to speak of. It's just not the same level of football, but. Last year, SDSU opened against an FCS team and were trailing at the half, before going on to win. This time, they dominated from the get-go.
I legit, when I watched them again, and I watched the first half, Hannah was just getting home from the airport, the hellos to the kids and everything else, bath time and bedtime, but I had it on, and I watched the first,
Did you see the opening series?
Yeah.
So they get the ball at the 25, touchback, and right away, the new quarterback, Jaden Denigal, gets hurt. And I'm going, oh, no.
Here we
go again. Some sort of shoulder injury. The backup, Bert Emanuel Jr., comes onto the field for a couple of plays. Denigal comes back, though, leads him on a 75-yard touchdown drive to open the season.
How about that third?
They didn't score a point on an opening drive until the last game of last season.
Bro, that third down and 12 that he ran for and took a massive shot. I was like, all right, this kid's got something. And it was just such a better product. Look, they would have beaten Stony Brook last year. They would have beaten them by 4. You know what I mean?
That's what I think too.
It would have been a real tight affair. They came out and dominated.
I thought it was an improvement. You saw some good throws by Denigal.
Very good throws.
Lucky Sutton, which is so cool that he wears number 7. Number 7.
Great.
Ran for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, and they had 2 other running backs that came in and had some good chunk plays and yardage as well. So they got a deep stable of running backs. The offensive line, they're all over 300 pounds now. There's no walk on playing right tackle for us at San Diego State this season. So they're definitely playing a better brand of football. What does it mean in the end? I've got no idea.
Who's next for them?
Washington State.
All right,
that's their first road game, first real test against a Division I team, usually a pretty good program. They've also lost some players, though, in the transfer portal because of the whole Pac-12 breaking up thing. So, that will be a litmus test for San Diego State next Saturday to see, all right, if they can win that game on the road, they will open some people's eyes, and you'll go, this is a team that probably can contend at least for a Mountain West championship. I don't expect them to be in the college football playoff from the group of 5, but the team that was expected, Boise State, they got blown away yesterday by South Florida. They're pretty much out now of the college football playoff running. That's what happens when you're a group of 5, a non-power 4 team, and you lose big on your first game. There's no way to come back from that. They can still win the Mountain West, have a good season, but college football playoff is almost closed to them after 1 game of the season. So who knows who it's going to be? Someone's going to make it. And, San Diego State can still dream on it at this point.
You're going to do your college football.
Oh, yeah,
What are we
yeah.
going to call it? The college
Ben's
football
super sexy Saturday
Stinkfist schedule.
Stinkfist.
Okay. I got to work Stinkfist in there somehow.
We'll get to that. We'll talk a little NFL as well. Don't do this coming up in hour number 2, and we'll check the standings after last night's MLB action that did not include your San Diego Padres. All coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. FRIAR Friday. Josh Stein, Assistant General Manager for the San Diego Padres, is going to join us at 7:35. Early FRIAR Friday guest. Darren Smith will join us at 8:35 this morning. Just keep you up to date. But even though the Padres did not play yesterday, there was other action in Major League Baseball. And a couple of teams helping out the San Diego Padres as the San Francisco Giants completed a 3-game sweep of the Chicago Cubs on a walk-off single by Jung-Hoo Lee in the bottom of the 9th inning. 4-3 the final, as the Cubs giving up some ground are now just 1 game ahead of the Padres in the race for the top wild card spot, which is, of course, important because only the number 1 wild card team gets home field advantage in the wild card series best of 3.
Yeah, we talked about it on the roundtable yesterday, and I think everybody, for once, agreed it's pretty imperative, I think, that the San Diego Padres, Benny, make as strong of a push as they can to get home field advantage. If you're a wild card team, so be it. I mean, we kind of penciled that in at the beginning of the year. If you were going to make the playoffs, you're probably going to be a wild card team, and that's okay. But getting home field, I think, is imperative for this team.
Although I thought it was interesting that the point that was brought up, how hard do you want to push? Because if you push all month with all your might and still end up a little bit short, you'll probably go back and go, man, we could have rested some guys. We could have kind of set ourselves up a little bit better for the postseason and not worried so much about home field advantage or even winning the division and just gone in, as much at full strength as we can to October as possible.
It's just you don't really want to change anything. Big drastic changes. The perfect example is last night we sat down to dinner and we had the Phillies game on, and the Phillies were beating the Braves at this point 15-3. And Aaron Nola is still out there, and it's the 6th. He's already qualified for a win. It's a guaranteed dub. He's at 78 pitches, and I wondered aloud to Bo. I said, do you see anything interesting there? And he goes, no. And I said, what happens? So I told him I go, wouldn't you, if you were the manager, let him get to about 75 pitches, knowing you're going to need him down the stretch, yank him out, you're going to get the win. I said, what if Matt Olson, who was standing at the plate, what if he smacks one right off his forehead, right? And then Matt Olson took him out of the yard for a home run. But I said, what if he smacks one off his ankle, off of his forehead? How dumb do you feel if you are Rob Thompson?
I would guess that they probably, since Aaron Nola's kind of building back up, coming off the injured list, they had a target number of pitches they wanted him to throw and get to, like whatever, 90 was the target. They wanted him to build up to that because he's had a lot of time off this year.
Absolutely.
Now, the line drive, you can't really do anything about. You don't necessarily want Matt Olson to hit a line drive off one of your relievers either, although you're probably bringing in their lowest leverage guys with a double-digit lead at that point. So I can see at least, hey, let's stick with the plan. 90 pitches today. Then you can go up to 100 in your next start. But, if it had been anyone else, I would totally agree with you.
Yeah, and like if it was Nick Pivetta, right? If Nick Pivetta is in the same situation this weekend, get him out of there. Like, save those
guy who's
bullets.
Not missed a start all year long. If you have an opportunity,
you have a 12-run lead
to save some innings on one of your starters. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, it's a case-by-case basis. But I think our general point, Paulie and I kind of made the same point of don't change. Like, just go out and try to win tonight's game. Do what you have to do to win it. And at the end of the year, like, I don't want to get to that point where we're like, I don't want to blame Mike Schilt for his team playing hard for the next 28 games, right? I don't. And if you get to October and you're a wild card and you don't have home field advantage, right? Or you do, whatever. Don't change who you are. No big drastic changes. Bryce Johnson getting 4 or 5 starts a week just to get somebody rested, all of that. You know what, man? If you can't, and I said it yesterday, if you can't get up for playoff baseball, if you're too tired from the regular season, I can't use that as an excuse. It's the playoffs.
I know it feels that way. Didn't the Atlanta Braves last year, injury riddled, look like they just had nothing left when they got to Petco Park for the wild card series?
I think it was because they were injury riddled, not because they had grinded so hard down the stretch.
Yeah, I'm not saying,
and I don't think the injuries.
I'm not saying that you're resting guys necessarily to keep them fresh. You're resting guys to keep them from getting injured, so you're not injury riddled going into the playoffs.
Fair, but like again, you also want those guys at the top of their game. And Christy says playing at home doesn't guarantee anything. Well, no, there are absolutely no guarantees, but the record at home is way better than the record on the road.
If given the choice, you want to play at home, and you are somewhat given the choice because it's how well you play over these next 4 weeks.
It's kind of in your hands to do it. It's also, you need other teams to falter a little bit, but for Dylan Cease, perfect example, has not won a road start all year. So if you lose out on that wild card and home field advantage, you go to Chicago, Ben, right? Now you could go Pavetta King Pavetta, and Dylan Cease starts a game here. Fine. But I think the home field advantage is really, really important for this team. They play really well here.
The rest of baseball yesterday, and cautionary tales, as the Padres are heading into series against teams that are out of it, doesn't mean you can't lose games. The Mets lost to the Marlins 7-4. You know who started for the Marlins in that game? Adam Mazur. I had forgotten about Adam Mazur, but another former Padre.
Blissfully. Who won that game?
The Marlins.
The Marlins
7-4. Then they brought in Lake Bacher.
Okay,
another
one.
Padres minor leaguer. And they beat the Mets, which means the Mets fall 3 games behind the Padres for the 2nd seed. Mets are the 3rd seed, and they are now 4 games ahead of the Cincinnati Reds, who are the first team out in the National League wildcard race. And how about the Brewers? They're kind of cooling off a little bit as they lost to the Diamondbacks 6-4, ended up splitting that 4-game series. You know who started for the Diamondbacks and got the win yesterday?
Who?
Nabil Krisnak.
What is happening right now?
5 2/3 innings, 2 earned runs, a walk, 2 strikeouts. He's now 2-0 for the Arizona Diamondbacks this season.
Of course he is. You hated Adam Mazur. Remember that, Paulie? I was Ray just reminded me.
Oh yeah.
He loathed. That was one of your guys. Like, you absolutely loathed watching him pitch.
Wasn't my favorite watch, for sure.
No.
But he's back in the big leagues again.
Winning ball games.
You mentioned the Phillies. Obviously, the story there was Kyle Schwarber's 4-home run night, a Philadelphia club record, 9 runs batted in, the 21st player in Major League Baseball history to hit 4 home runs in a game. Had a chance at 5, popped out in his last at-bat. But
now, who took the loss for the Braves is Cal Quantrill.
Hey!
Seriously, though, he actually did.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Did every single game involve a former Padres pitcher in Major League Baseball yesterday? We can go through the box scores to see if that
we have to say
true
tell
or not.
that. I'm sure Josh Stein knows that, but he's coming on in like just 25 minutes. I would like to let it. Did you see last night where like 9 of your former prospects
did Kyle Schwarber win the MVP award last night? I know one night shouldn't be the difference maker, but he climbed within a 1 home run of Cal Raleigh for the Major League lead with 49. And certainly, voters are going to be swayed by statements like that. And that was quite the statement by Kyle Schwarber last night.
He's going up against Shohei Ohtani.
Correct.
And, I don't want to go back on what I've said, even back to Ohtani's Angel days, right? If Shohei Ohtani puts up a average pitching season and a 45 home runs, he's going to win the MVP. And I it doesn't bother me. I think he is a true unicorn. I would, for no other reason than to watch the meltdown. Yeah, I'd give it to Kyle Schwarber. I'd love to see it. I would absolutely love to see it. It would make my day. What team are the Phillies cooked without Kyle Schwarber? Are the Dodgers cooked without Shohei Ohtani? I think there's a case to be made. A little bit of both. They're both designated hitters. One just happens to pitch as well. Not saying Kyle Schwarber couldn't pitch if you would let him. I mean, he pitched in college. He pitched in college, and he was a stud. He's a catcher too. He did it all. But does hitting 4 home runs in a game, 49 homers, that guarantee you an MVP? There's still 28 games to go. There's a lot that can happen. But I think if Shohei's there and he's healthy, you have to give it to him. He does.
You
both.
don't have to give it to him.
You have to. Who's more valuable than a guy that doesn't take up 2 roster spots but does 2 things for you and hits prodigious, amount of home runs and drives in runs, scores runs.
I wonder if
pitches.
it will be like Shohei fatigue, like you've seen it in other
You've
sports.
seen fatigue. Yes.
I mean, Michael Jordan did not win the MVP every single year.
I think the voters will acknowledge your argument that he does so much. How can you not give him the award? But they will be looking for reasons to not give him the award. And Kyle Schwarber just gave them a big reason.
4 reasons and 9 RBI
to not give Shohei Ohtani the MVP award.
I want to hear some of the audio from that real quick.
Please.
The 4th home run. I've got the Phillies radio broadcast.
15-4, Phillies lead it. With everybody looking for history from Kyle Schwarber. The 1-2 on the way. Swung on, hit deep right field, and there's history for Schwarber. It's his 4th home run of the night as Kyle Schwarber becomes the first Philly since Michael Jack Schmidt to hit 4 homers in a game. It's a 3-run home run that gives him 9 runs batted in tonight.
Now, that was about 30 seconds. The Braves television feed wasn't that long.
Oh, my. He did it. 4-home run night for Kyle Schwarber.
That's a good call, though. There was some some energy behind it because that is
a good oh my there.
That is badass, man.
And then here, Kyle Schwarber doing the post-game radio broadcast with Philly Sam Levitt. And
Philly Sam Levitt
dropped an S-bomb.
Of course
that I
he
had to
did.
beep out.
You know, and I'm in the cage, and I go, how many guys? I'm like, man, I'm going to get another at bat. Like, how many guys have hit 5? And no one said anything. I was like, oh,
I was like, all right, I got to go for it. Hard to hit a home run off a position pitcher throwing 30 miles an hour. But
I love him.
Kyle Gashioka did it the other day.
He did.
A home run off a 36-mile-an-hour pitch off a position player.
It would be my best shot. I mean, honestly, like that would be the best shot that I would have at the big league level of a position player.
Elsewhere yesterday, the Yankees beat the White Sox 10-4. Do you know who came up in mop-up for the White Sox? Steven Wilson. And
still pitching.
Trent Grisham hit his 27th home run of the season,
Bananas.
which kind of makes me feel like, okay, Yankees home runs are just not that. They're just not the same as everybody else's home runs.
I mean, I don't know. He always had that. He had the ability to do it. This is a really hard ballpark. Did a lot.
It's true. They were on the road, so I guess, can't blame Yankee Stadium for last night's home runs. Bellinger hit his 26th. Jazz Chisholm hit his 26th. I drool as a Padres fan.
Salivating.
All these guys got so many home runs.
Over 25 homers it's a dream. We don't have anybody over 25 homers, do we? Not one person.
Not anyone over 21 this season.
Great.
And then the Boston Red Sox completed a mop of the Baltimore Orioles. And the Padres are about to face the Orioles. So you go, okay, this team is struggling. 3 of the games were 1-run games, including yesterday's 3-2 win. Boston pulled it out with the run in the top of the 8th inning. So don't feel like the Orioles are going to be complete pushovers when the Padres host them next week. But they are a team that has been struggling. They're 14 games under 500 and going to have to cross the country to play that series against the Padres on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So maybe you can get them when they're, emotions are a little low at this point in the season.
Well, look, at the end of the day, I think you could probably take that out of the jargon for the next month. I don't think you're going to see a lot of teams roll over. In fact, these games are a bit scary because we've talked about many times. Guys are playing for a gig. Guys are playing for a contract. Guys are playing to get noticed. Teams are bringing up young, hungry players that are like, I would love nothing more than to stick it to Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., Xander Bogaerts, all these, all-stars and big money guys. Watch what I can do on the mound or watch what I can do in the outfield.
Right. We don't want it to happen to us, but we would love it for other teams to do it to the Dodgers.
Correct.
So,
correct.
You know that it's a risk, though, when it happens.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's not going to be a really comfortable night for any of us for the next 28. There's just not. It's not a comfortable time of year if your team is in it and making a push for a division and making a push for a home, a wild card, top wild card seed. Like, it's not a fun. It's not fun.
They will fall behind in one of these next 9 games.
And you're going to panic.
And you're going to go, oh, no,
boy.
this is.
Yep, you'll lose. You're going to get loose. You're going to lose. You're going to
9 of them.
Get beat. But yeah, it's a white knuckle time of season.
All right, let's take a timeout. Don't Do This is coming up next. We can actually address the Micah Parsons story in Don't Do This because there are a number of Don't Do This elements that go along with the Micah Parsons story from yesterday. We'll get to that coming up next with more Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, and I'm addressing this to, his name was Dustin, the golfer who played with Scott yesterday. Dustin, I've already lost the weight. You don't need to tell me to lose some LBs. I did it. I did it 2 years ago, in fact, thanks to SDFatLoss.com. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days. And guess what, Dustin? I have kept that weight off for 2 years, still looking and feeling great, thanks to the program at SDFatLoss.com. It's based on real foods. There's no injections, no exercise necessary. If you follow the plan, you will lose weight, up to a pound of fat per day and 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days. It's a fact. You will lose weight. If you don't lose weight, they will figure out why, and they will get you on track for losing weight. They will coach you all the way through. They will then help you keep the weight off when it is done. So many tier ones have gone through the program already. People come up to me all the time and say, hey, did SDFatLoss.com? I lost 20 pounds. I lost 30 pounds. I lost 50 pounds. I've heard so many success stories. You can be the next one by signing up for a free consultation. Go to SDFatLoss.com. They'll explain how the program works for you. And still here at the end of the month of August, take $200 off with their summer special. I did it, Dustin. Anybody can do it. At SDFatLoss.com, results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Josh Stein coming up at the bottom of the hour on a FRIAR Friday. First, though, Don't Do This is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Don't.
Leave your entire estate, kids, and house and life savings up to chance if and when you die.
Do.
Set up a Trust or Will online at trustandwill.com.
This
is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. Paulie actually brought this story up off the air yesterday, and I thought, oh, this is a Don't Do This for the Dallas Mavericks. They've had a few of them this last year after trading away Luka Doncic to the Lakers.
This is the Here in Dallas edition of Don't Do This.
After all has been said about that trade and all the criticism they have received, they kind of, I think, don't want it to get pushed in their faces anymore. Luka Doncic is going to be featured on some billboards across the country, not because of his basketball skill, Woods, but because he is now a grandmaster in the game Overwatch. Like, he's not just a basketball star, he's also a video game, apparently, expert for the game Overwatch. And part of a partnership, they're putting him on some advertising for Overwatch competitions. And one of the billboards that was going up was going to be right next to the American Airlines Arena.
Yeah, American Airlines Center, yeah.
In Dallas, where the Mavs play. Apparently, the Mavs, according to a report, have quietly requested that they move that billboard somewhere else. They do not want to see Luka Doncic's face.
Can you blame them, though?
You
said it's a don't do this for the Mavs, but I don't know that you can blame. I don't know that you can blame them. Like, you have to put it here. It's a really good spot, by the way. Like, it's very high traffic. It's
a lot of cars going by that billboard. Yeah,
perfectly high profile area for that billboard to be. So I don't know. I mean, I kind of understand it a little bit. Move it a little bit down 35 is what you need to do.
Just a little further away.
A little further away.
Don't need that shoved in our face every single day as we're heading into the arena.
Well, obviously, the Dallas Mavericks captivated the basketball world last year, and the Dallas Cowboys continue to captivate the football world while being a very mediocre team, at least on paper. And they got rid of one of their best players yesterday. The Micah Parsons trade was moved to the Green Bay Packers, Ben, yesterday. And, you're reading, it's been an unfolding drama, right, with Jerry Jones, Micah Parsons. Jones believed he had been betrayed, decided to take a stand against a player and an agent, essentially on principle, and ended up moving Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers, Benjamin, to help shore up their defense. He got back a 1, a 2, and then another defensive tackle.
Are those 2 1s?
Oh, 2 1s.
Yes, two first-round picks, and then a veteran defensive tackle.
3-time Pro Bowl lineman.
So what, the next 2 years, first-round pick?
2026 and 2027 first-round
That's
picks.
right. And the Packers are going to be a pretty good team. So those picks will probably come, towards the bottom of the draft, but you'll have 2. You probably won't be a very good team, the Dallas Cowboys, because history has shown us they haven't really done much. Now, could this be an example, Benny, of, addition by subtraction, right? Micah Parsons may be a problem. He didn't seem like he really wanted to be there. Fine. There's something to be said for moving a guy that, is upset about something. Only time will tell. But honestly, the funny part is, and I said it to you yesterday, I go, oh, did you see the rumor? I think we were off the air. I said, did you see the rumor about Micah Parsons? They may want to move him to the Packers. You go, there's no way Jerry Jones is going to move him. You weren't the only one. Michael Irvin had the same thought about a minute before the deal went down.
Or Adam.
Yeah, this was on ESPN. Like, within 2 minutes of Shefty breaking the news of the trade, right, Michael Irvin was on NFL Live.
Or Adam Schefter reporting that the Cowboys are now listening to trade offers for Micah Parsons. What's your reaction to that?
Michael Parsons, hey, look, you're going to report all you want. There's no way they're allowing Michael Parsons to go anywhere. All of this is part of the negotiations. And as I talked to Jerry the other day on my podcast, and he was talking about it the other day when he tried to make that offer, he said somebody told him to shove it up his rear and all of that. I honestly, it blew my mind. It blew my mind that any kind of conversation like that would be going on in a situation like this. Michael Parsons, I want him to take control of this thing and say, I don't care about you two and whatever y'all got going. Get your butts in a room and get my money on that paper. That's what you need to be doing. So I'm hoping that's what gets done. But I guarantee Michael Parsons not going anywhere. Jerry's not that crazy. This is all we call just negotiation stuff.
Yes, he is. And I can't think of, a side note, except for maybe Eddie Vedder, a worse podcast guest to have than Jerry Jones. Just I listened to his press conference yesterday. I played it.
There it was.
Yeah.
Glory hole.
I played it at dinner. We were eating dinner. I had to hear it. And Bo goes, "What's his problem?" Like, I'm like, "Well, he's 80 something years old. Number one, it doesn't flow like it used to." He got the dude's name wrong. Paulie's got that audio.
Did I talk to Michael?
Micah.
His son, Micah.
About, I'm sorry, I didn't get the.
Michael.
I mean, dude, the guy is
Micah.
He's
an idiot.
Maybe one of the reasons he wanted to leave is you didn't even know his name.
Michael. Did you talk to Michael? Did I talk to Michael? Micah. He's out of his mind, man. He's 80 something years old. It's not, his capacity is not what it once was.
I think
and that's okay.
I saw a lot of incorrect takes. I had one too. I didn't think Micah Parsons would be traded. Saw Andrew Brandt, the former GM of the Packers, say, I don't think there's any way the Packers would trade for Micah Parsons. That's not how they do business. They did it. But 2 number 1 seems like a lot. But if you're drafting in 2 years, if you get one Micah Parsons in the first round in 2 years, you've won, right? That's good drafting. So, I mean, you're guaranteeing yourself a Micah Parsons, by doing that.
How do you figure? How do you figure you're guaranteeing a Micah Parsons?
Because you just traded for him. He's now on your team.
The Packers.
Yes,
I thought you meant because you got those pictures guaranteed
the
to draft.
Packers have
They got a Micah
They
Parsons.
have a Micah Parsons now.
100%.
Yeah, they had to give up 2 first-rounders, but
they got Micah Parsons.
If we could draft a player anywhere near as good as Micah Parsons, we're doing well.
You can
so
tell.
Let's just guarantee ourselves and parlay that into Micah Parsons.
Boy,
right
you
now.
can tell we are AJ Preller fans, can't you? With that
is true. That was a very AJ Preller-like trade that the Green Bay Packers pulled off.
We've gotten used to it. Now, normally, you'd see a team do that, and you'd say, "Hey, listen, they're going for it, or they're trying. There's something we don't know." But I think when it comes down to Jerry Jones being the owner GM, as he has for the last 30 years, and they haven't done anything, you know that the main culprit in all of this, was ego. That's the only thing. It has nothing to. He started his press conference. Well, listen, we wanted to stop the run, and we couldn't for the last 4 years with Micah here, and we wanted to stop the run. That's what we've been needing to do. And you're like, you're just crapping on the guy that even if he missed 4 games last year, he was still like a super otherworldly defender.
It's what AJ Preller does so well. He never says anything about a player after he's traded, other than positives.
Correct.
Like, so tough to get rid of that guy. You're getting a great player in wherever, Miami, wherever we've sent, Baltimore. Love those prospects. It's tough to get rid of them. Jerry goes, it wasn't that good anyway.
Elisa, he says, Peepaw vibes. Do you think he goes by Peepaw with his grandkid? Y'all come on and sit on Peepaw's lap over here. I guarantee you it's Peepaw or Pawpaw. Come on, no.
I also wouldn't be surprised if he said, "You can call me Mr. Jones."
Yeah, call me Big Daddy Jones. It's incredible.
Finally, a little doo-doo this.
I could listen to him talk all day.
DD mega doo-doo.
I'm going to give a doo-doo this to the New York Knicks. Almost broke the glass ceiling this week.
Yep.
It came out from Dawn Staley, the head coach at South Carolina, very successful college basketball head coach, that she was not only approached about the Knicks head coaching job, she got a full interview and apparently was perhaps one of the finalists to get the open job this offseason. Now, she didn't get it, but I think it's pretty impressive that the Knicks were open to considering that. And I think we're getting very close. At some point, you're going to see probably a woman coaching an NBA basketball team within the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
It's going to happen at some point. And Dawn Staley said if it was offered to her, as much as she loves South Carolina and coaching in college, she would have felt like that opportunity she would have had to have taken.
No question about it. You take that gig. That's awesome.
And that is don't and do this for a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, when we come back, FRIAR Friday, a little early today, Josh Stein, Padres Assistant General Manager, is going to join us. We'll talk about the farm system and more with Josh coming up next here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, Woods and I just told you the DDT brought to you by Trust and Will.
Yeah, don't.
We can expand a little bit more on this. No,
Okay.
this is the whole spot about getting your affairs in order, whatever age you are. If you've got a family, especially if you've got kids and you don't have a will, at least to like spell out who the guardian for your kids should be. Do you know who gets to decide? Not you're thinking, oh, my mom will she's
She'll
alive.
handle it, right?
That's not how it works.
No.
The state will decide who gets your kids, who is the guardian of your children. If you don't spell it out, at the very least, you've got to do it for that, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, here we are on our high horses now. After getting our trusted will, we waited 40. We waited forever to do ours, and I'm not meaning to shame you, but I want to shame you a little bit. I want to guilt trip you into
not me, everyone.
Everyone out there that hasn't done it. Just go to trustandwill.com. Listen, if you're like me, you're kind of lazy. You want it kind of spoon fed to you. That's exactly what I needed. That's why they're perfect for us. Go to trustandwill.com. Use the code FAN when you check out. You'll get 20% off.
And remember, you want to avoid probate court as well. If it's about assets like a house, like a 401k, your family may not have access to it for months and months until they go through the process. Expensive, time-consuming, and avoidable based on the simple questions and answers. When you go to trustandwill.com, again, use the code FAN at checkout. Get 20% off. Free shipping of your estate documents at trustandwill.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Hour 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Park 101, multi-level sports bar and restaurant at the Carlsbad Village. Park 101 Sports Bar and Restaurant in Carlsbad. Catch the game with your fellow faithful this weekend as we take on Minnesota while sipping 22 ounces of Estrella Jalisco out of a souvenir bat. Park 101, Carlsbad Village, proud sponsor of the Padres Radio Network. All right, we're going to check traffic, and then Josh Stein, Padres assistant GM, is going to join us for a FRIAR Friday conversation up next here on The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is driven by local and veteran-owned Manny Sedano Ford and Lincoln in La Mesa. Well, people are doing a pretty good job of staying out of trouble on our roads. No incidents, no accidents, and really not a lot of slowing at this time, but that's all going to change as the day progresses, as we make our way into the Labor Day weekend. Best time to leave, according to travel experts, to be by noon today. That is, if you're driving. If you can't leave till tomorrow, they're saying the best time would be between 6 and 10 a.m. So, just keep that in mind. If you're thinking about a new car for the weekend, the Lincoln Corsair Premier, smooth as a country sunset, for just $449 a month. Find yours at Sedano Ford and Lincoln in La Mesa. SedanoFord.com. For more details, visit Sedano Ford or SedanoLincoln.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And we are joined right now by Padres assistant GM Josh Stein here on a FRIAR Friday. Josh, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Going well, man. I wonder if you were listening a few weeks back when I was on vacation in Kauai. It was the day after the deadline, and everyone in town was really excited. I know you were excited, and AJ was excited, but there was one guy stood alone about his lack of excitement for the moves, and it was Ben Higgins. Did you hear that morning show and your boss absolutely roast him?
I heard the tail end of it. I didn't hear Ben's take at the beginning, but I did hear kind of AJ's response to it.
It was, excuse me for being at least measured in my approach. Now, it's gone pretty well the last month, Josh. I must say that the moves have worked out. What's your take on how well the moves have worked out so far for your team?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously we went into that kind of period of time in the season with some real, what we felt were, needs to address on the roster. And we're able to address those, really, kind of in a what we felt was a pretty creative fashion. And then, to be able to go out and, add, a pitcher like Mason Miller, to what was already a great strength of the team. That was kind of the capper. I know, kind of the sequence of events and the kind of the order of it, might not have made, all the sense in the world as it was happening, but, kind of, what our vision was and what we were kind of trying to line up throughout the course of that week. And, that morning in particular, we had a pretty good idea of, being able to address all the needs of the club.
No, it was certainly a frenetic day, as it oftentimes is at the trade deadline for the San Diego Padres, Josh. And, I wanted to ask you this, and this isn't to denigrate anybody that's been here before. This is just, it seems like the guys that you added fit in immediately, right? There was no, it didn't feel square peg round hole. It was like, let's acquire this guy because, well, I mean, we can, like this, these were needs, you guys addressed them, but I think the character and the makeup of these guys maybe is different than anybody we've seen, and they just seem to fit so seamlessly in this lineup and with this team.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's I agree with you, and I think that's it's certainly intentional and on a couple of fronts. I think obviously in the scouting of these players and trying to identify not just their physical abilities but who they are as players. Maybe their journeys to get to the spots they've gotten to. Whether it's like an all-star season from a Ryan O'Hearn or like a Freddie Fermin who's been backing up a Hall of Fame catcher, but I think we were, very intentional in terms of, looking for players that we felt would, fit with the team that we had based on certainly skill set. That's always going to be, the driving factor, but also, the roles and competitive situations that they may have been in the past and, would be coming into. And then, I know Mike talked about it and, Schulte, and I think this is a very important element as well, blending the new players with, players on our team that may be, facing somewhat diminished roles and, working through that, as a coaching staff and as an organization. I mean, there's an art to that. And, I think that, that's something that, that we've done very well here, especially this year. And, I think that, that's when you look at the byproduct and you see kind of the guys saying the right things and, it's seeming to fit together well. I think it's a function of those two things, like identifying those people at the front end and then, having a situation, a team, an environment that's, prepared, when they do show up and walk through those doors.
I've noticed that sometimes, Josh, the move that flies under the radar turns out to be more impactful than we as fans imagine. We talked so much about Mason Miller and, of course, Ramon Laureano and Freddie Fermin and Ryan O'Hearn that the Nestor Cortez trade seemed like kind of a bit of an afterthought. So Brandon Lockridge, who, of course, we enjoyed here, but wasn't playing a critical role with the team. And then Nestor Cortez is coming off a great start against the Dodgers, gets another big one tonight. But you also got a prospect in that deal. So yeah. I'm curious about that one because we're hearing good things about Jorge Quintana and what he's done since just the brief time he's been in the Padres system. Tell me more about that trade and who you picked up in that deal as well.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the more, I would say, unique ones just because, Nestor was on an extended rehab assignment and had been on the 60-day IL, was really, had spent the bulk of the year, on the IL coming back from a forearm injury. And I think, again, you always learn in these jobs and in these roles. And, I think that, there's the adage you can never have, too much pitching. And I go back to, a few years ago, us deciding to kind of roll with what we felt was a lot of very good, young, starting pitching, and felt like we had enough to withstand. And almost immediately, after the deadline, we had a couple of our starters go down with injuries, and you're sitting there saying, wow, we've got to go to the waiver wire. We've got to look to, to recently released players. And so, part of it is part of that trade and part of really going out and, we knew we were going to be trading some of our starting pitching depth in some of these trades, and knowing that not only did we need to replenish to get back to 5 starting pitchers, but like you really need to think beyond that, right? You need to say, hey, what if, this doesn't happen or this pitcher, isn't able to come back from injury. So, I think getting Nestor, and getting that depth, certainly a veteran pitcher that's pitched in a lot of big games, big situations, someone that when he's healthy and takes the ball, we have a ton of confidence in. And then to your question about Jorge Quintana, I mean, that's, there was a couple teams that were really interested in Brandon Lockridge, and, so we were able to, leverage that and talk about, getting something back in addition to Nestor Cortez in that deal. And, we had a lot of back and forth with the Brewers in those morning hours, and probably exchanged, half a dozen names, and ultimately got to a player in Jorge Quintana that, we have scouted down in Arizona, Matt Thomas, our scout down there. It gets back to really being where the players are that you can acquire, right? And scouting the players that you can acquire. And so, even though Jorge Quintana doesn't have a long track record in professional baseball, he's someone that we've seen and we're interested in, and, plays is really a plus defender up the middle, switch hitter. We're intrigued by some things that he can do offensively, but also just great makeup, great personality that we've seen, both before and after acquiring him. And when you can add a player like that at the same time as acquiring starting pitching depth, it's a real win for the organization.
Talking to Padres assistant GM Josh Stein here on Ben and Woods this morning, and Josh, you look at the rankings that come out after you guys trade a bunch, and maybe 7 years ago when we first started doing this together as a show, I think the panic would have set in. And based on your track record, AJ's track record, the last couple of years, I mean, this is like the 4th year in a row. Everyone has said they don't have the prospects to trade, so they're not going to be able to do much at the deadline. And lo and behold, you added everything you really needed to make a push. So now it sits at number 30 out of 30. I know how you guys view it as a challenge. So when does, I'm sure it's already started, but walk us through what you want to do to get that number back up to, something that you guys are happy and comfortable with.
Yeah, I mean, it is a challenge, and that's a good word for it. I don't think it's unique to the Padres, and I certainly don't think it's not one that we haven't faced before. I mean, I'll say this. I mean, in the probably, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours after the deadline, we're all kind of sitting there dazed. The adrenaline's kind of worn off, and Chris Kemp, who again, I mean, you talk about what you have to give up in these trades, right? We're trading, whether it's Leo DeVries or whether it's Boston Bateman and a number of players that we drafted, and we get invested in these players, right? We scout them, we get to know them, we get to know their families. So Chris is very invested in these players, but Chris Kemp gets up in the front of the room and starts just writing and ranking our top 30 prospects, and we're kind of sitting there all watching, maybe a few people weighing in, and looking at the state of our current farm system. And I think the general feeling is there's still a lot there.
Yep.
I mean, we don't feel like we have a barren farm system at all. Ultimately, the public rankings are what they are. What we've often maintained, and what you probably heard AJ talk about, is if teams are calling us and engaging with us in trade discussions, they tend to be interested in the players that we have in our farm system, so I think that speaks really to the continued strength. I'm not going to say we're a top 10 farm system in the game right now, but I also, I don't frankly agree with, the current rankings that are out there. But getting back to your question, I mean, yeah, it's an everyday challenge in baseball operation. It's one that, I think we all embrace. It's one that, whether it's Chris Kemp overseeing our amateur and international scouting group, and them, texting almost immediately, getting on the horn, being like, all right, time to reload, let's get after it. And, getting out to the next amateur showcase, or, it's Pete DeYoung and, right now overseeing our pro scouting group, and, really focused on, okay, who are the looks that we need to get, over the next, month and a half while the minor league season's going on, because, we're going to be shortly getting into Rule 5 draft discussions. We're going to be talking about minor league free agents, and certainly augmented by, a very strong research and development department and analysts that are always flagging and identifying, interesting candidates to go for our scouts to go out and, see. So it really is like it is a challenge. It's a everyday process. It doesn't change just because we've traded a number of prospects. And I think that, that a lot of that stems back to, just AJ's philosophy of a scouting and player development driven organization, and identifying players every year. We talk about it a lot. We cannot miss in the draft. We can't miss. Every organization could say that, but I think it's a mantra that we really try and live by, and treat that as one of the most important days of every year.
It's true. We were laughing about it earlier, going through the box scores yesterday, and just seeing how many former Padres and Padres pitchers appeared in games yesterday. Oh, there's Adam Mazier. There's Stephen Wilson.
Yeah, we talk about it.
just all over the place. But, speaking of pitching for next season, just quickly, I wanted to ask you this. With Bergert and Kolek and Braden Nett all traded, King and Cease free agents to be, who do you have in the organization that you identify either in the minor leagues or in the bullpen that could be potential starters for you guys next year?
Yes, I mean, it's a good question. I mean, I think like we do expect to get a pretty good one back in Joe Musgrove, so that's going to be a big big one that we anticipate slotting back in, and yeah, we did trade some of our upper level pitching depth. Obviously we did also backfill it, and whether it's a JP Sears, who we're going to have, here in this organization, for a number of years moving forward. These guys aren't really, I wouldn't consider them minor leaguers, but, Randy Vasquez, JP Sears, obviously Matt Waldron, what he did last year, and still having a lot of faith, especially in Matt, with the knuckleball, more probably, at the major league level than in some of the AAA ballparks that he's had to pitch in. But, going a level below, some of those names that I know, fans are very familiar with. I mean, one player we're very high on, that got asked about a number of trades that we did not move is a starter at AA, Miguel Mendez, 23 years old, another, kind of under the radar international scouting find, and, in the upper 90s, and, the wipeout slider, a good developing changeup, someone that we think very highly of. There's other starters there as well, Jagger Haynes, Eric Yost, guys that, we've promoted, this year up to that AA level. So, again, that is the challenge, and it'll always be the challenge, is to replenish that starting pitching depth. I think, to your point, Ben, in terms of like relievers, I think that's something, we've always had an eye on, right? Whether it was transitioning Stephen Kolek this year, Michael King last year, Seth Lugo. I think that's something that we do have an eye on as an organization, and, feel like, with Ruben, Ben Fritz, our entire kind of pitching group, excuse me, it's an area that, that we can continue to look at guys. I have a few ideas.
Yeah,
probably not going to tip my hand in terms of who those are right now.
Josh.
But
that's fine.
That's for us to speculate.
We appreciate it, Josh.
Thank
it's
you,
always
buddy.
great to have you on a Friar Friday. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you both.
Appreciate it.
Josh Stein, Padres assistant GM. I knew he probably wouldn't say specifically. We're
Mason
converting
Miller,
Mason
David
Miller,
Morgan,
David
yeah.
Morgan, but I thought I'd ask. We'll wrap that interview up on the other side next year on The Fan.
All right, my friends, we're halfway home on a Friday. Thanks so much for being here with the Ben and Woods crew. We love you very much. We appreciate you very much. Wanted to quickly remind you guys we're going to be doing another edition of The Work, which is the men's mental health group that I started a few months back. It's been awesome. A lot of really, really cool people in there. We're going to be doing it Saturday, which is tomorrow. At the Sanctuary by the Lost Abbey. It's 1215 San Alejo Road in San Marcos. We're going to be doing it at 11 a.m. Goes an hour. You just come in and share what's on your mind, your heart, whatever. Place to come, and no judgment. Just dudes talking about, whatever's going on. Things are hard out there. And I just wanted to make sure that there was a space for the men that I know. And we got some regulars to come. Would love to see some new faces too. But it's been something that's been really special and important to me, certainly, and to some of the people that have come. It's been great. And people always ask me, when's the next one? So I just told you, it's tomorrow at 11 at the Sanctuary by the Lost Abbey.
Proud of you for doing that.
Thank you, man.
Anything else anyone got planned this weekend fun other than watching some Padres baseball?
I just had a question for Woods.
Yeah.
Now, Ben, you have not been to the Work?
I have not been to the Work.
Are you mad at us for not going?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
I had a buddy that asked.
Oh, really?
Do you go to that thing that Woods does on every Saturday? I'm like,
same thought.
Well,
a little bit.
It's every month, and I was like, and no. It's not that I am against it or I don't want to do it.
No, I'm very supportive of it.
Ben
but
might
I feel
actually
like
he might hate it.
No, I think it's a really, really good idea.
I'm
I think
not
me
mad. I'm
showing
just
up just to show
I'm
up would be kind of an
disappointed.
intrusion. It's not.
Well, you could come and share.
I don't think I would share.
Why not?
I'm not really a sharer.
You're not a sharer.
I'm not a sharer.
He doesn't share with us.
He doesn't.
I think he's going to share with strangers.
Yeah, I'm not a sharer.
I'm a sharer. I'm an oversharer for sure. I get in trouble, get my wrist slapped at home all the time. I would prefer if you didn't sim. All right. You need to drop the list on me in the morning when I walk out the door. This, off limits. All right, fine. I will respect your wishes. My dad, there was something that happened back home. And I was like rubbing my hands together. And I said, 6 a.m. And he goes, no. And I go, come on. And he goes, no. And I said, please, it'll be so good. He goes, no.
You're good at talking people into it. I'm surprised you didn't talk them into it.
Very good.
I will warn you that if we're still doing this show in, say, I don't know, 8 to 10 years, teenagers do not want you to talk about them on the radio.
I get it. But I also don't care. Like, for what those cats put me through right now at 7 and 4, you're dead.
It's embarrassing.
You're both dead.
But we'll stop doing embarrassing stuff.
Stop being an idiot.
Listen to your show in the morning. You can't talk about me.
I sure can. I can and I will. All right, I'll tell you what. You turn 18 and start paying your own bills, you're off the payroll. Until that day, you are my content source as much as you are my children. But no, I will respect it. If somebody says, I prefer you didn't. That's why I usually just ask forgiveness. But I did. I ran, you run things by people and say, is this cool? My dad said, no, not this one. I said, all right, fine. It would have been so funny. I'll tell you guys off the air.
He probably doesn't want you to tell us off the air either.
It was gold.
Really count.
He did not let me mine the gold that I really wanted to mine. But listen, it's absolutely fine. But no, I'm not mad at you guys. I'm just disappointed. Just a little disappointed.
A little bit?
No, not even a little.
I could stop by tomorrow, possibly.
I don't need you there for moral support. I need you if you come in, I want you to do the work. It's not the sit.
I am going to go check out. They're doing the Grass Clippings League at Goat Hill Park this weekend. You might have seen it if you're a golf fan. You've probably seen some Instagram videos. It's a professional golf league, not PGA Tour or Live though, but it's all just on par 3 courses.
Yep.
It's based out of Scottsdale, but they're doing their first one in California this weekend at Goat Hill Park, and they've got like really good players who are playing for big paychecks, but it's just on little par 3 courses, and they stream it all. Paige Spiranak is like the host, and it's like
when is this?
It's tomorrow and Sunday. I think it starts at like 9:30 or something.
Ben's like, I'd love to go to your little therapy thing.
I'll be hanging out with
Paige Spiranak.
Yeah, with Paige Spiranak. Probably best I stay away. You should do your alphabet bit for her. I bet she'd like it very much.
So that was one of my plans for the weekend.
Paige. P is in Petco Pork. A is in all girls all the time. I is in I'm so hot for her. I'm so hot for her. G is in Ganja, aka cannabis, and E as in everybody likes a wiener.
She would love it.
Yeah.
I can hear I can feel the disdain that my wife has for this segment, right? She knows that I'm a big Paige Spiranek fan, and I can feel her
You
wrath.
just like her golf content.
I love her golf content, and I can feel my wife's wrath. I can feel her wrath like in my body right now. So I'm sorry, babe. You're the only one for me, as I proved to you.
I like to
last
support
night.
fellow Aztec alum as
Exactly.
they go on in their careers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, I got the work on Saturday, and then Bo's little. It's like this. It's a burgeoning travel team that he's on. It's very under the radar now at this point, but
grassroots, like at the beginning level.
It's the beginning stages, and they have their first scrimmage against another burgeoning travel ball team.
Sydney Sweeney hosting that.
Sydney Sweeney will be hosting. So it's not travel ball. Like, we're not going up to Riverside. He's playing 12 games at 8 years old. That's not what this is going to be.
You're not ready for that yet.
We're not there. So it's called Edge. JP wants to know. And it's been really great for him. And it's all of his homies, and they're getting really, really good. And it'll be fun to test their mettle against our buddy Coach Kurt at Frozen Ropes and his 8U team. Now, this is Benny. Kids are pitching. So Bo will probably get some mound time tomorrow. Sunday. I'm a nervous wreck, right? Like, this is not hitting off a tee, not hitting off the machine. This is real baseball, really, for the first time. And he's so fired up for it. And I mean, I'm going to have to. Do you have that ball gag that you keep? I'll wear maybe to the.
You don't want to
I just want to
coach. You just want
to. I'm not coaching, so I also don't get to coach. So I'm going to have to be
over parent
coach, and just sit and wear it and watch the mistakes, and it's all part of it, certainly. But this will be a big test for me as well, because I was at practice the other night with Taylor in the outfield, and I can't help myself. Ready, position. Come on, let's go. Bend your knee. Like, I was like, just shut up. Just shut up, dude. Shut up.
I don't think a coach would mind if that's what you're saying.
Well,
right?
I know the coach really well.
Coach wants their players to be ready at all times. And a little reminder from a parent isn't the worst thing.
It is, though. It is. I've coached. And listen, as long as it's good advice and not, hey, get your elbow up. I don't want his elbow up. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't 1986 anymore. Like, I know what... open your stance or whatever.
You don't want micro coaching,
and I don't want bad. I don't want bad chatter.
But a little reminder out there. Hey, let's look lively out there from a parent. It's not a bad thing for any coach.
JP says, enjoy it. Travel ball's not for the weary, especially 8U, but it is so fun. Crack a cold one and enjoy. I'm just going to try to do the Hoffy thing, and I might just go down the fence to stay away from everyone and just watch and take it in and enjoy it. I've got to remember to enjoy it. But so he's really, really excited for it. It's the first. He works so hard at his game. He works so hard, and now he gets to go out and they got fresh unis. They look amazing, and he's so excited. He's got new batting gloves. Like, he's all about it. So that is a huge momentous day for us, our family, and certainly for him.
I don't know if it's a California thing or if it's a 2025 thing. Did you guys ever have, like, whether it was school sponsored or outside, like a sport on Sundays? I never had to play sports on Sundays
at all.
Soccer, it didn't matter. Basketball, baseball, fall ball, it did not matter. The season or the sport. It was either weekdays or Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon. Sundays were always off.
Sundays were off.
Like, every weekend, you're like, Bo's got football, Bo's got baseball. I'm like, that's
at
crazy.
some point, obviously, I think it was a church thing. People going to church, they don't go to baseball. But I actually think more now, it's a field availability issue.
Dude, and for
there's only so much time on fields.
Right.
You can't not use a day,
You're right.
You'll never be able to give everybody the opportunity to go out and play because there's not enough field space and field time for everybody.
Yeah, there's so many comments in the chat. It always gets a lot of play. A lot of parents out there, and they've got kids in it. And K-Law says travel ball seems like boot camp. It's crazy. And I do agree. Some of the programs I've seen, this one I love. They do one practice a week for an hour and 15 minutes. For 8-year-olds, that's more than enough. At the end of the day, 5 o'clock practice, like that's perfect. And then they play, I think the goal is going to be one game a week, which is great. They don't, my nephew plays, he'll go play 6 games in a weekend. And I'm like, that's too much. It's too much. He's 10. That's too much.
My nephew and niece have done more of the intense sports stuff but I hear stories like they'll go for a tournament and they have to start games at like 9:30, 10 p.m. Because that's when you have field availability now. It's, you're going to have 24-hour leagues at some point. Yeah. What time is your Little League game? It's at 2 a.m. is when we were able to get the field, because that's how it goes now.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it, man. It is like I've loved all of the steps. I love T-ball. It was so sweet. And then the other thing is I've coached on this 8U team 6 of 7 of these kids. They're my own. I have worked with them for now since they were 4 years old, and they're 7 and 8 years old. These are my babies. So like to get to watch them making plays at second base when literally in T-ball they couldn't throw. There's one kid, he could not throw. And now I watch him field a grounder, sling it to first like he knows what he's doing. I watch him swing with confidence. It is the most special thing.
Even when my son was doing Pop Warner many years ago, there would be games like Temecula, 7:30 a.m. And you got to be there 2 hours before for weigh-in.
My family. We'll no
5:30 a.m. for weigh-in for the 7:30 game in Temecula.
We love it. You can't get it early enough.
Oh yeah, you got to really early.
You can't get it early enough for my family. If you do 6 a.m. games, I am in. Our tier 1 team, if we could do a 6 a.m. game, me and Paulie would be the first to be like,
would be the only one.
Where is everybody? Let's go. Let's get this thing going.
2 on 9.
I just I'm so proud of them, and I love it so much. And watching all of them grow up has just been the coolest thing for me. So we're doing that. And then Monday, I think, nothing, just going to chill and hang out as a family, but got a crazy week next week. Padres, get a lot of Padres baseball this weekend for sure, which will be rad. And, starts tonight.
Did you know, I just want to point out, today's game is at 5:10. Tomorrow's game is at 4:10. Sunday's game is a 10:10 a.m. start on Roku. It's the Sunday Roku game of the week. We haven't had one of those in a while.
Been a minute.
It is the free app, and you don't necessarily need a Roku, but you need the Roku app on your smart TV to be able to watch that one. So I don't believe it is a Mud and Don televised game. Of course, you will be able to hear Jesse on the radio if you want to do that, but to watch it.
That's Sunday 10:10?
That's Sunday morning 10:10.
It should be easily accessible. I understand it's not in your normal regimen of just going to channel 83 or Padres TV or wherever you get your games, but Roku app, any smart TV should be able to get it. And I don't
warning
think
everybody now, like you've got now 2 days to figure out how to make sure your
you don't have to
Roku
pay
app's
for a
working.
subscription or anything like that. Should be fine.
Yeah. So just keep in mind that you're not going to be able to flip it on at 10:09 on Padres TV, your normal channel. Take a look at it, an hour beforehand or on Saturday, just to make sure that you've got that dialed in, because that's going to be your only way to watch Padres baseball
iPad,
on Sunday.
computer, television, phone. You should be able to get it.
Okay. Well, I'll be watching my son play baseball.
That's true.
I'm so excited. I'll be listening.
Well, you can watch on your phone or listen.
Yeah. Right here on 97.3 The Fan. And hear all the games.
We have a game of Take on Woods to wrap up the week. If you'd like to be our final contestant of the month, I believe, last chance to qualify for a pretty spectacular grand prize, the trip to Resorts World Las Vegas, the day club passes, and the $175 food and beverage credit. This is it. You want to battle Woods in our musical trivia competition, you can be our contestant by calling in now at 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. We'll play our game, and then a little later than usual, but Darren Smith will join us at the bottom of the hour. We'll talk SDFC and Padres with D. Smith coming up at about 8:35. Stay tuned for that. More Ben and Woods coming up on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, talk about Prize Picks, daily fantasy for everybody. And of course, we are kicking off the NFL season, and it is coming up, and your chance to win with Prize Picks by setting your lineups, just playing against the numbers. You're picking players from your favorite teams between 2 and 6 in your lineup every single week with an opportunity to win real cash. It's very simple. All you have to do is download the app and go to the Prize Picks website. Use the code KWFN when you do so. You're going to get $50 instantly in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code KWFN to get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. And keep an eye out with the first games coming up Thursday night for the special squares, 1/2 passing yard. That's a way to basically guarantee that one of your picks is already going to win. And when you only need 2 to win, makes it pretty easy to start with a winner right there at Prize Picks. It's easy. It's safe. There's millions of users, billions of dollars in awarded winnings. You can even do the flex play. If you don't want to go for the big score, you can say, hey, I'll pick 5. If 4 win, that's good enough for a winning lineup at Prize Picks. So check it out this weekend. Baseball as well. Run your game with Prize Picks. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Of course, taking on the Twins. We'll talk more about the series coming up with Darren Smith. And in our final hour, some good matchups tonight in Major League Baseball as well. Some good pitching matchups in the league, including you've got that new prospect for the Mets making his debut, Jonah Tong, against Yuri Perez of the Miami Marlins.
Just gas.
You've
everywhere.
got Freddie Peralta of the Brewers pitching against Shane Bieber, who's come off the injured list after being traded to Toronto and looking like he could be a real nice pickup for the Blue Jays down the stretch. And you have another young guy making his debut. Who got called up?
Peyton
That was
Tolley,
yeah,
Tolley.
of the Boston Red Sox, going up against Paul Skeens at Fenway Park today. So some really good pitching matchups.
Paul Skeens. Yeah, Peyton Tolley too. He was a draft pick last year. He has risen through the ranks very quickly. I mean,
Zach Gallen against Blake Snell at Dodger Stadium. Chris Paddock against Seth Lugo in a matchup with former Padres.
Hey, fellas.
With the Tigers taking on the Royals.
What I wouldn't do to have Seth Lugo in this rotation.
He's the one that got away.
He really is. He's the one that got away. The one that just sticks in your craw. All those guys, you can live with the James Wood, Mackenzie Gore, knowing that they're on a team that, is really going nowhere right now. But he's the one. Lugo is like, man, you had him for cheap. They got him for cheap, and he was such a dog here. Such a dog.
And he left for what you don't feel like was too much more than you could have afforded. You know what I mean?
Or a much better situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It wasn't like if they were Padres were offering him 10 a year and he went and got 35.
Right,
you're like,
right.
dude, we can't match that. Go for it. But I remember it was kind of close to what we thought they maybe could spend on him, and we just couldn't make it happen.
Yep.
Yeah, need help from some of the NL West rivals. The Diamondbacks, obviously, at the Dodgers, and then the Rockies are hosting the Cubs this weekend. Cubs have been scuffling a bit, but the Rockies are generally a formula to get, a little harder at Coors Field maybe than in Chicago, but that's a look at some of the action coming up today in Major League Baseball. Right now, though, we got a couple of contestants on the line. Let's get to our final game of the month of Take on Woods. Take on Woods brought to you by Bay Alarm, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you. I'm going to line 6. Who's this, caller? You're on the air.
Hello.
Hello. Who am I speaking with?
This is Robert.
Robert, are you ready to play some Take on Woods today?
I'm going to try.
All right, good luck. If you can beat or tie Woods, you know what happens. You go into the grand prize drawing, which will be happening in just a few days, for the trip for 2 to Resorts World Las Vegas, 2-night stay, 2 VIP expedited admission passes to the AU Day Club, and a $175 food and beverage credit. Give them all their love here. Celebrate summer, 2-night stay, dine poolside at one of the 5 unique pool experiences in a 5.5-acre pool complex, the largest elevated pool deck on the Las Vegas Strip. No resort fees and complimentary parking this summer. Check out the rates at rwlasvegas.com. All right, not an easy game, but we do give the caller the advantage by picking the category. Here are your choices, Robert. We have cherry picking. Those are all 2-second songs, including the word cherry. You've got the apart. That is 5 songs with either part or apart in the title. And we have the mystery category back. It's been a while. The 2-second song will feature in all the other answers of the mystery category if you want to go that direction. So, Robert, cherry picking, you've got the apart or the mystery category. What's it going to be?
I'll give mystery category.
All right, jumping right into the mystery category. This can be a little difficult because you're kind of on the same footing as Woods because I don't give you the key, but I will tell you that the song title of the 2-second song will then inform all the rest of your answers. That's all I can give you. You'll have 60 seconds to answer as many as you can. If you don't know one, say pass. We'll come back to it if there's still time left on the clock. The first question, of course, is that 2-second song. Give me the title and the artist to score that point, and then remember that title because it's going to come up in all the rest of the answers. Robert, are you ready to play?
I'm ready.
Paulie, you good to go?
I'm ready.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. It is the mystery category. Robert, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Robert. Good luck. Let's take on Woods.
You've got the look.
By?
Roxette.
Correct. Which 1970s band from New Jersey topped the charts with their hit Brandy? You're a Fine Girl.
Pass.
Set in a home in Illinois, which 1970 hit by Creedence Clearwater Revival includes the line "do do do" before the title.
Out my back door.
What out my back door?
First part of it.
Walk out my
Not walk.
back door?
U2's album The Joshua Tree produced the band's only #1 hits in the United States, With or Without You, and which other single that repeats the line "These City Walls"?
Oh gosh. Pass.
Billboard's overall #1 song for the year 1989 was which track written by Diane Warren for the band Chicago?
Pass.
Go back to which 1970s band from New Jersey topped the charts with their hit "Brandy, You're a Fine Girl"? Oh, I thought you were going there. You got the look by Roxette.
Okay, real quick. Woods is going to get more than one.
I think so.
Should we raise our arms and scream really quick?
Because
he always gets nervous.
Yes! Robert, great job.
Hell yeah, Robert.
Hang on the line, though. It's a tough category. The ones you didn't get were Looking Glass, Brandy, Looking Out My Back Door. Remember, you had Out My Back Door. I'm going, just give the word look. I still haven't found what I'm looking for, and Look Away by Chicago. All right, Woods, come on in.
I'm so nervous.
All right, Robert's score is locked in. Final game of the month.
Clapping in here, I saw.
Final game of the month. I don't like to give you any information.
Bring your game, bud.
We need to stop reacting to the contestant.
you
We're
do.
giving Woods
Yeah.
too much information here.
I'm not going to focus in here.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Woods, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Robert.
Pass.
Which 1970s band from New Jersey topped the charts with their hit "Brandy, You're a Fine Girl"?
Pass.
Set in a home in Illinois, which 1970 hit by Creedence Clearwater Revival includes the line "do do do" before the line.
Looking Out My Back Door.
Correct. U2's album The Joshua Tree produced the band's only #1 hits in the United States, With or Without You, and which other single that repeats the line "These City Walls"?
These City Walls. I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
Correct. Billboard's overall #1 song for the year 1989 was which track written by Diane Warren for the band Chicago?
What is the effing category? It would really help.
Go
Play
back
the
to our 2-second song.
Oh, I know it. Is Smithereens?
No.
All right.
Which 1970s band from New Jersey topped the charts with their hit "Brandy,
Brandy.
You're a Fine Girl"?
Stupid. I don't know. I'm out.
You're done. Wow.
Two?
Two.
That's it. That's all I got. Give me the category. I think I can get it. All right,
So
give me
it was
the category.
actually it was a mystery category.
Oh, was it?
Robert got it. He got the look by Roxette.
Look,
So you got
the look.
Looking Out My Back Door. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Brandy is by Looking Glass.
Looking Glass.
And Look Away is the song by
Ooh,
Chicago.
love it. If you see me walking by and the tears are in my eyes, look away.
Woods, final score 2-1. You won. We faked you out a little bit on the celebration there. Just to,
Did you do it on purpose?
Yeah, just to get in
I
your
said,
head.
hey,
Paulie's
real
idea.
quick, Woods is gonna
cheer a lot like he nailed
Woods
it.
is going to get more than one, I think. Let's
Wow.
scream and wave our arms around, and he gets all nervous.
I did. Just panicked.
I'm surprised. Look Away, which I don't even think is one of Chicago's best songs, was
I
the
love that
#1
song.
overall song from 1989. You like that
I
one?
love it.
You did like that one.
I love Chicago. I love
I
it.
like Chicago,
I
too.
think, their greatest hits is just elite. It's elite. I don't listen to it. I'm gonna rip that on the way home. I think Chicago's greatest hits.
All right, not bad. We had a few qualifiers, but someone will win that trip to Las Vegas coming up in the next few days. And our promotions department will
Thanks for
identify
trying,
that
Robert.
winner. But Robert, thank you for playing. Sorry that one was closer than we thought. You were one away from at least tying Woods today.
That
All right,
scared me to death.
Darren Smith coming up next here. Don't go away on 97.3 The Fan.
Quickly, gang, let me tell you about Eco Water and all the fine work that they are doing. You can have them come out to your home. They will do a free in-home water test for you. You know, put it in a little tube, shake it up, and say, "This is your water, and this is what Eco Water is." And look, as a sales pitch, it works because you're like, "I don't want that. I want that. That's what I want my kids drinking and my pets drinking, and that's what I want to, wash my food in and bathe in." All of that. Plus, it's so much. It tastes so much better than any filtration system you'll have in your home. We've got it in our house. We are so happy. Clean water also deserves clean air. They've got state-of-the-art air purification. It removes 99.99% of pollutants. We've got pure water, fresh air, and a happy family, all thanks to Eco Water SoCal. Again, call them, get that free in-home water test today. Try the Soft Life and Alkaline Water, now just $9.95 a month. Call 760-350-3338 or go to ecowatersocal.com. Let them know your old pal Woodsy sent you from 97.3 The Fan. Not everything in life should be hard, especially your water. Keeping it soft since 1925.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
We're listening to the latest K-pop hit that has Taylor going wild.
Yeah, my 4-year-old is in love with this K-pop song called Soda Pop. I don't know where he heard it. I think he saw it in a movie or something. And he dances around. And I've, you know me, man, I'm trying to shove I'm like, here's Alice in Chains. You'll like this. He's 4.
And K-pop.
And he wants the K-pop. It's called Soda Pop. And he dances around. He's so happy listening to it. And I'm gonna set you free, little bird. Go be who you are. Don't be who I am. You don't want to be like me. Be who you are. Do your own
Well,
thing.
if he comes home today and says, Dad, I want to listen to the new Sabrina Carpenter album,
I'd probably say no based on what you just told me.
I don't think he should.
Holy cow. Paulie was just reading some Sabrina Carpenter lyrics for us. We can't even read. You can't even say
it
them
over the air. Can't say it.
Man.
I know we got Darren coming up. Did you see the email, though, from one of our colleagues? Next couple of weeks, we're going to have some artists in studio, including one of Jelly Roll's proteges. Atlas is going to be here.
All right.
And then a thirst trap for women in their early 20s, Spencer Hatcher, is going to be here in our Odyssey studios.
Thirst trap. That's it says in.
That's
is
what
that
it says.
like his bio?
Yeah, that's our colleague Scotty was saying who's going to be in the studio. So
where do I sign up for a thirst trap for women in their 30s? What's his name?
And Jelly Roll's protege?
Yeah, Jelly Roll's protege. Atlas
you can meet this guy and be 1 degree of separation away from your beloved
Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll.
Tell Mr. Roll that I said hello.
All right, let's get to Darren Smith. He's going to join us right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Trouble in Mission Valley, West 8 past Texas Street. Accident being moved out of middle lanes. Up ahead, a stalled vehicle has been pushed over the right shoulder right before Mission Center. Traveling on southbound 15 at the South 805 connector, there's a stalled big rig trailer partially in that right lane. In the North County, northbound 15 right at the West 78 connector ramp. 2-vehicle accident over to the right shoulder. Before you hit the beach, the mountains, or even the 5 this Labor Day weekend, be road trip ready with Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment needed. Stay in your car while they change your oil and check your tires, battery, and fluids. Coupons at SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
No Sunday night football for SDFC as they go up the freeway to take on LAFC in the Sunday night MLS featured game. And joining us right now, SDFC broadcaster and friend of the program, Darren Smith. Darren, good morning.
Good morning. And I must admit, as I was listening to you guys talk about K-pop, I thought for sure that the king of the segue was going to use that to talk about LAFC because they just went out there and signed a rather significant Korean superstar. I thought for sure that was the setup.
It's a Friday. He's off his game.
He is way off his game. You have golf today?
Son, what's his name? I do not have golf today. I'm anchoring today at Channel 10.
Son Young-min. Yes.
Son Min.
Yes. As popular a player probably outside of Lionel Messi as this league has ever signed.
I saw this story that with the addition of the new player, the LAFC tickets have been going through the roof, and there was a report that they had reneged on some sort of deal for SDFC fans to come up for the game at a discounted price, but SDFC management, Tyler Heaps was on with Braden earlier this week. He wouldn't confirm it, but he did say that SDFC ownership had made it possible for fans to go up and see at least some of them that game on Sunday, Darren.
Yeah. Usually the way this works is there's a little bit of reciprocity, right? So if somebody wants to come down, if you have a group of away fans that want to come to Snapdragon Stadium, you say, all right, well, we'll give you 500, but then you have to give us 500. If we can get 500 fans, you at least have to give us that amount of tickets, right? So, there's this handshake deal. It's not official. I don't think it's any charter or contract. And so when LAFC played down here earlier this year in March, SDFC made available 600 seats. So, you would think, okay, our fans had planned bus trips and all sorts of stuff. And then because of the popularity of this player and he's making his home debut, Son is, they were like, I don't know about that. How about 200? I'm like, no, that wasn't the deal. We made plans to be a part of this. And they tried to pull it back. And then they tried to jack up the price. And I haven't heard it confirmed either, but I have a feeling that's exactly what happened. They elevated the prices. Secondary market's going crazy because this is his home debut. And it sounds like the club did the supporters a solid and said, we'll pay the difference. So good for them.
It's good. It's good tinder for the rivalry flame, is it not? I mean, I said it the other day when Ben read that report. I said, I actually kind of respect it. Now, again, they're not doing it to be jerks. They're doing it because things have changed. We have this player now that everyone's going to want to see. So, I mean, that's the way of the world now. I want to go see a band. I've got to pay $40 to $50 in extra fees just to go see a band I like. So, but it kind of stokes the rivalry flame a little bit there, Darren. Who will be our rival? Who is going, in your opinion? Because there's two teams in LA.
Yeah, I mean, and this even elevates the whole Padres Dodgers conversation because they also have each other, right? These two kind of don't like one another, and fans of LAFC are like, well, you guys aren't even really in LA, are you? You're in Carson. And then the Carson people with Galaxy, they're like, well, you guys just got here last week. What are you all talking about? Calm down. We've won the cup 6 times. So I don't know. I mean, I tend to think that there's a little bit of crossover here. Tom Penn having come from LAFC. I think, probably I would like the idea of LAFC, but I think it's probably too early. That stuff has to be organic. I think maybe something happens in the playoffs that would elevate, how you feel. But for me, going into Galaxy's building on their first game after winning the MLS Cup from last year and just taking it to them, to me, set a very, very nice tone against the Galaxy. But, SDFC's 4-0 against teams from the state of California. I'm sure they would like for that to continue. So I think we're just taking on everybody. We'll take on San Jose. We'll take on LAFC. We'll take on Galaxy.
Going for their 7th consecutive win on the road, but, to maintain their position at the top of the Western Conference standings, and they're now a point or two behind for the Supporters Shield trophy at the end of the year. They can't really afford to drop many points the rest of the way, right, Darren?
No, I mean, I wouldn't, as a team broadcaster, I wouldn't say that this is the most important match in club history, but somebody I think could make that case that this might be the most important one, at least until next week when Minnesota United comes to town because they're sitting in second place. So it's going to have a real sense of occasion. Sunday night, sounds like a lot of the big-time celebrities are going to come out. We talked a little bit about Son Heung-min making his debut, where we are in the standings, 6 matches to go. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be – I can't wait. I mean, I've been up there, and their atmosphere is electric all the time. The place is going to be a cauldron of energy. So really can't wait to get up there. But, yeah, I mean, at this point, every match you look up and down, you're like, yeah, man, that isn't going to be easy. all of these are, and this is a 6-pointer now for LAFC, which is trying to climb itself back into the Western Conference race. They had to put a couple of games off on the side because they were involved in other tournaments. So, this is for them. This is a massive, massive one heading into Sunday night. The place is going to be jumping.
Yeah, man, and you got a team that plays really well on the road against a team that plays really well at home.
Yep.
Should be
really well.
Should be a blast. I mean, it's indicative too. Not to transition so quickly, Darren, but San Diego Padres are also that team. They play okay on the road, below 500, as a lot of teams do, but at home, a very serious and real advantage. And we spent a good portion of the roundtable yesterday talking about how important, man, these last 28 games are. Like, there's always the thing of like, man, it'd be great to be so fresh and feeling better and fewer bumps and bruises going into the stretch, but you really can't, man. You got to keep grinding these last 28 and not take your foot off the gas.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and whether it's still trying to chase down the division or whether it's trying to chase down the top wild card spot. I mean, I think that's the thing I keep thinking about. I heard you guys with Steiner early, like all that investment that they've made in the trade deadline and focusing on this year and what's happening at the end of the year with some of the free agents. It just feels like getting home playoff games, like that's got to happen, right? Like whether it's via the wild card, whether it's via winning the division, which, with 28 or whatever it is, still is there. I mean, it's a weekend, guys. Like it's just a weekend. So, I do think, these games, and you could see it with certain guys, right? Like there's this clip that Manny was talking the other day about, like, listen, my body, it ain't great. Like you all know that. You all watch it. Like I am getting through this the best I can. So off day yesterday, Minnesota now. Did they have their fantasy draft yesterday? It feels like it was one of those kind of days. So yeah, but this is it. Like this is why you keep your body in the condition that it is. And Minnesota here, like, okay, like get back home next week. Like man, September's going to be a blast around here.
A couple of things struck me from that Stein interview from earlier. So since you were listening, first of all, Brandon Lockridge was a coveted commodity. There was like a bidding war for Brandon Lockridge, and that's why they were able to extract a pretty good prospect from the Brewers in addition to Nestor Cortez. But what did you think about the candor that Josh showed, talking about the lessons learned from 2021, the mistakes by not having enough pitching depth at the trade deadline and learning from that season when they ended up relying on Jake Arrieta and Vince Velasquez and collapsed down the stretch because of pitching injuries that they didn't foresee, trying to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I love everything about that. I love when you get a glimpse into like the real world thought process of what's going on with these guys and how they can admit they've not been perfect, right? And it feeds a little bit even into the conversation about relief pitching. Like there was a lot of conversation that the Padres, had a lot of relievers and maybe they should trade one of those relievers. And instead it's like, no, like we have this position to strengthen. We want to add to it. We weren't looking to subtract from that. We were looking to add to it. So, I like all of that. Every year, these guys will say the same thing and it sounds cliche, but if you're not learning from what it is that you did well or what you did that didn't work out, then you're not going to be around very long. So, I do like where they are. I know you can say, well, listen, some of their depth got traded out there, for other guys, but I don't know. I mean, Nestor Cortez to me feels like a better version of what it was that you had here previously. So, I like that, especially when it comes to the bullpen. I mean, I just look at that bullpen. I was looking at it the other day when they were playing, up in Seattle and seeing those 5 names, even in a box score, you're like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Like, damn, like, look at that coming out of the, like it is a really, really daunting thing to think that you had these sharks just circling in the water out there in the, in the bullpen. So, yeah, I mean, I love it. I love listening to those guys when they give you a little glimpse into what the reality is.
Yeah, and, I asked him the square peg in a round hole, and you can name probably 10 off the top of your head of that guys that did feel like mercenaries, right? Like, yeah, Adam Frazier, right? Like leading the league and hitting. Right. Oh, what a no-brainer. Well, he gets here. He doesn't have a position. So it's like, well, what were we doing there? Like you put him in left field. He's not a left fielder. Ball bounced off his head, I think. Like he had no business being out there. And by the way, forgot how to hit the minute he landed in San Diego. So these additions, it does feel like maybe there's more due diligence and less we're running a fantasy baseball team here, and Adam Frazier's available, and I can go get him, and I'll find a spot for him. All of these guys, now we're sitting here, Darren, going, we have too many guys, and we got to make sure somebody gets out of the lineup and into the lineup. You followed this. Jackson Merrill is going to be coming off the IL soon. Gavin Sheets is having phenomenal ABs. Luis Arise is not having phenomenal ABs. It's going to be a real continuation of this topic, right? Who hits where and when.
Yeah, and this is why you pay a manager.
Yep.
Because it's not going to be an easy conversation for somebody. And, you hope you have the right guys that are going to understand that. The most famous one, I know, like I have a minute, is Ryan Ludwig. And it wasn't so much that Ludwig came in here in 2010 at the trade deadline and underperformed. It's that he came in here and he changed the dynamic of the clubhouse because they gave him at-bats that he hadn't earned. And all season long, that 2010 team, which won 90 games and took it to the final weekend of the year, was a meritocracy. And they changed the dynamic inside of the clubhouse because of it. And now with these guys that are coming in now, you just say, like, Mike Schultz got to run a meritocracy.
Yep.
This isn't about Jackson Merrill's feelings. Hey, dude, you've been paid. I understand, Luis Arise, you're a free agent. You might have an agent who's getting impatient here. But, this is all now about, like, I have to be the coach here that's going to have to deliver some bad news. He said it earlier this year with his lineup when it was Tatis 1 and Arise 2. Hopefully he sticks with it here over the remaining 28 or whatever.
Baseball can be a cold game, and someone's going to be left out a little bit in the cold, but then they might need that guy in a critical situation coming up as well.
Ready. I need you off the bench in October.
Yep.
I'm going to need you at some point in October. So don't go put your tail between your legs.
Yeah, that's true. Darren, really appreciate it.
brother.
Good luck to SDFC. Should be a fun atmosphere, as you said, on Sunday night up in Los Angeles, and we'll talk to you again next Friday.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend.
Darren Smith. Love having him on every single Friday. One of my favorite additions to our regular lineup. Talking soccer, talking baseball, and more. And I was also thinking that Ryan Ludwig, you're Adam Frazier. It's perfect. Square peg, round hole.
100%.
Fantasy baseball.
Yeah.
Feels like.
I got a great DM that I want to talk about from a tier 1 yesterday about some of that and some of the politics that go into this and reputation of the team. It's pretty interesting.
That's coming up next. We'll have a Rindle Report as we wrap things up. Final hour of the week, headed into the Labor Day holiday. Bennett Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Final hour of Ben and Woods on a Friday. Our thanks again to Darren Smith, always elevating the conversation. You brought up, of course, at the end, the big decisions Mike Shilt's going to have to make when Jackson Merrill comes off the injured list, maybe as soon as tomorrow, maybe on Sunday, but he's certainly trending toward a return. There's just not enough spots in the lineup. This isn't Little League. You can't bat 11 or 12 guys. You got to choose 9.
Adult League, yeah. I have to bat 12 sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah.
Everyone gets to bat. You don't
I
all
mean,
get to
not
play in
always.
the field, though, right? There's
Not
only 9
always.
out in the field.
Correct.
Okay. Just making sure.
You don't want to hurt feelings.
So Mike Petriello from he's from Baseball. Where is he from? He's one of the baseball stat gurus online. Had a thread this morning about Luis Arraez in the second hole. He's one of the national guys who's kind of made it his mission to kind of poke at the San Diego Padres and Mike Schilt for the continued batting of Luis Arraez. And I know a lot of
he's got no skin in the game, right?
No,
He's not a Padres fan.
He's not a Padres fan.
I think he's
just
a Yankees fan, actually.
You know, but a lot of Padres fans who believe Luis Arraez should be either hitting lower in the order or coming off the bench have pointed to Mike. And he said this morning, the 2 spot in the order has gained a ton of priority over the last decade as it's become a spot for your best hitter. San Diego has just 6 home runs there. That's the fewest in a decade from any team out of the number 2 spot in their order. He says Kyle Schwarber hit nearly as many 2-spot home runs in 3 hours last night as San Diego has in the past 5 months of the season. And Mike got a response from a Padres fan who said, brother, I beg you to understand Mike Schilt is being stubborn. Padres fans know this is inefficient. Schilt doesn't care. Mike says, I know, but when I don't say it for a while and then I do, I get a ton of San Diego fans saying, oh, national person finally taking notice. And no, I'm always noticing. It's interesting because mathematically, you certainly can make a very convincing argument about that. Now, I don't know why we started taking shrapnel on this thread. Did you see this?
No.
The guy mentioned Ben and Woods, just asking Schilt. He said, I think on a San Diego level, it's basically the daily discussion. Anytime Ben and Woods asks Schilt about it, he uses a bunch of old school baseball excuses. And then someone else jumped in. The Riskmeister tweeted, Mike Schilt has tons of baseball knowledge along with his coaching staff, while Steven Woods and Ben Higgins have never grabbed a bat to hit a 90-plus mile-an-hour baseball pitch and owe no knowledge of fundamental baseball.
False.
This is why Schilt is the manager and Wood, Ben are nerds.
Would Ben are nerds.
Wood, Ben are nerds.
So number one, that's not accurate.
No, I am a nerd.
You are a nerd.
You're not really a nerd.
I
And you actually do swing the bat. And I think both of us have some knowledge of fundamental baseball.
I don't see that comment, meaning he's blocked me or I've blocked him.
It's possible.
One of the two, which sounds like it was probably the right move. Hey, man, again, national baseball writer, not Ben and Woods, not anybody else. Like, it's a national baseball writer. And again, there's the data for, the 2-hole being a spot for your best hitter.
Yeah, just because other teams are doing it doesn't mean it's the right thing for your team.
Correct, but it is interesting, and it goes a little bit deeper, Benny, potentially. I got a DM yesterday after the roundtable. It was from Erica, and she says, I'm watching today's show late, so I can't say this in the chat. This team is so into saying we will do what's required for the team when it comes to the bullpen or the bench pieces. So why doesn't that same mentality follow to our starters like Louis or Dylan? How come Schilt, who I love, can't tell Louis, who I also love? Look, let's move you down, find your mojo without the pressure for the good of the team. Instead, it's feet in the mud, head in the sand, no modifications when it comes to those top dudes. Okay, ran off, just never heard y'all make this argument. And, I was thinking more about it too. And Schilt pretty much alluded to it the last interview we had. Those are not easy conversations. Darren just said the same thing. There are egos involved. Ben, and I know we say this, it doesn't matter. They're going to be free agents after the season, right? So why are we worrying about the feelings of free agents? On a deeper level, there's reputations involved. How does your team treat players, right? That stuff gets around. It's a very tight-knit community. The fact that AJ never goes to arbitration with the guy, that's a plus for the San Diego Padres. It's an absolute plus. The fact that we're riding for our guys, that Schilt is riding for his guys, putting the faith in those guys, I'd say it's a net plus for the team in the long term, in the bigger picture. There are, and Darren just alluded to it too, there are agents that are like, my man's going to be a free agent. He needs to pitch, and he needs to start, and he needs to be, in the lineup, and he needs to, and you do have to factor some of that stuff in.
I do see what you're saying, and I do think the Padres have created value by being a team that respects their players.
Correct.
And does things the right way and treats their players in the right fashion.
I think the reputation is there, yeah.
At the same time, I don't think there's anybody in that clubhouse who thinks it would be a slap in the face to Luis Arraez to drop him in the order, even though he's won 3 batting titles. They all see him struggling.
Yeah.
It's not, they all understand. They're trying to win a World Series title, and they all are smart enough and savvy enough baseball players and have been around the game to know it's possible our best chance to win could be by putting someone else higher in the order to get more at-bats. Adam, who's been one of the biggest advocates for moving Luis Arraez in the lineup at our station, off the air, on the air, texting us constantly, made a good point after the roundtable yesterday. He said, all right, well, that game that they lost on Wednesday, 4-3, with Ramon Laureano batting second, because he was batting second, he at least had a chance to come up again in the 9th inning with the tying run on third base. You had your best OPS hitter this season, who is Ramon Laureano, up in that situation. Had he been batting 7th, he would have been 5 more batters away. Now, it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. He didn't ground it out. Maybe Luis Arraez would have been the right person. That's baseball. But normally, the more chances you give to the guy who has been your best hitter, it's probably a good thing. And in that case, it could have worked out perfectly for the Padres.
And that's what it just boils down to. It's never been a personal thing, right? Ever. I absolutely understand his value to the club. I understand his value to the clubhouse. And I don't, but I see that's not just lip service. You can see that. Anybody that watches this team, you can't tell me, that he's not valued by his teammates.
Correct.
And he's not beloved.
But you also can't tell me that a move now would be met by a mutiny in the Padres clubhouse. Like,
everyone walks and puts their jerseys down.
I'm confused.
This is for Louis.
This
is for Louis.
You mentioned the word feelings, and we're talking about Luis Arraez and feeling like a demotion, maybe. How do we protect his feelings? And I understand that is part of the game for Luis Arraez. What about like Ryan O'Hearn's feelings and Gavin Sheets' feelings? He's been here all year long.
Just because you got traded doesn't make you any less of a professional, veteran who deserves the same amount of respect as a guy who's been on your team for the last year and a half.
They're both free agents after this season, just like Luis Arraez. And you think Gavin Sheets isn't hoping to get a little more PT, add a couple of more home runs to his numbers? You know what I mean? Like, he's a guy that was playing on a prove-it deal
coming up, and he's got reasons to want to play and be in there just like everybody else does.
David says, you're wrong, Woods. This is a business. You're trying to win a World Series. Feelings, LOL. I didn't say it. Your skipper said it. He said it. He said these are hard conversations. But these are not hard conversations.
I don't think Mike Schilt is making his decision to protect anybody's feelings. He feels like he's trying to create the feelings necessary to win a World Series. Mike Schilt wants to win.
No question.
No doubt about that. He just believes that creating a certain amount of respect and culture and what he does in the clubhouse is vital to that winning in the end. And sometimes it requires you to be a little more patient with the guy than maybe a knee-jerk fan would be in terms of making a change to the lineup. And I get that. That makes a lot of sense.
I do too. And when more numbers like this come out, from Mike Petriello, again, national writer, not Ben and Woods, you look at it and go, it's hard to justify. And it's hard to justify leaving a Gavin Sheets off if he's swinging a hot bat. So I don't know, man. Paul Adams says, I hope they move Arraez just so 97.3 has to figure out more time, some other way to fill 12 hours of airtime. Me too. Trust me, believe you me, buddy. I'm tired of talking about it at this point. It's the minutia is driving me insane. But there are things obviously that are out of our control, and hoping for guys to pull out of it, Benny, in a certain spot in the order that's not really a great strategy. But if that's what they do, here's the soup. You have to eat it.
Again, I can guarantee you that Mike Schilt isn't trying to just make peace and keep things happy. Mike Schilt is making his decisions because he believes that they are what is required to win a World Series for the Padres. And you may not like them. He's not trying to be liked. He's trying to win. He just has a different perspective of how to go about that than someone like Mike Petriello. And a lot of Padres fans do right now.
C20 Moreno says Arise is going to get the winning hit during Game 7 of the World Series. Then what? Yeah, I mean, as long as he does it from the 7 hole, I think Padres Twitter and everybody will be happy. As long as he doesn't do it from the 2. I love Louis, and I hope he gets it going. I really do, because I think a hot Luis Arise makes your team infinitely better, and especially in the playoffs, off the very best of the best. The guy does. You're not going to get a cave. Like, he's going to go up. He's going to fight every single AB. The guy really wants to win. I love him. That's the thing. But I also want this team to be firing on all cylinders. And where is the best spot? We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I thought it was interesting, the bigger picture stuff of how guys are treated, because again, if you just stick to this and it's kind of proving every day, it could be better somewhere else. That's tough. It's tough to swallow.
Meanwhile, Kevin Acee wrote a piece post, I think last night, about the added depth for the Padres, how they are no longer quite as reliant as they were on the top of the guys in the order having to produce for them to score 5 or 6 runs in a game, because the Padres have been scoring runs even though Manny Machado has been struggling. What was the number? 215, you said, over the last?
Yeah, like 205 or something.
Yeah, 205. Manny's been struggling a little, more than a little bit over the last few weeks. And Kevin Acee at the start of the piece, tell me if this sounds familiar to you at all, said the Padres have long been dependent on Manny Machado. When he does well, they do well. When he does not, they do not.
Should have filed that trademark.
You should have. He
didn't say it. He didn't want to phrase
skirted around it.
He skirted around it. Kevin, go ahead. I didn't trademark it. You can write.
As Manny
goes, so go the Padres.
Yeah.
But his point is now it's less true than it has really ever been since they signed Manny Machado, which is kind of a good thing. They're finally to the point where you have enough productive players in your order that you don't have to say, "Oh, Manny's slumping. We better win 1-0 or 2-1 because we got no other choice." They can actually score some runs even when Manny Machado is in a slump right now.
They can still contend and hang around without Manny being hot.
They're going to need Manny to get hot.
You still see the difference. I mean, you mentioned it. I think you said it so passively yesterday. I don't remember if it was on the roundtable or on our show, but we were talking about the slug and the home runs, and you're thinking Manny and Fernando, you both, especially early in the year, like in April, the way that Fernando at least started off the year, you're like, we're looking at a 30 home run season for both of those guys.
Yeah.
That's 60 home runs.
Yep.
They're going to finish at like 40.
I mean, they're at 42 combined.
So
what's Toddy at? 18?
18.
They're at 39 home runs right now. So they'll finish.
So they're going to finish well below that 60. And you're like, gosh, dang, when you add like Gavin Sheets, who you didn't know what to expect this year, you're like, that's some significant power that you kind of expected and just didn't get.
But these are good. I mean, he says Luis Arise batting .211 since August 3rd. Padres are 14-9 over that span. Xander Bogaerts, haven't really talked about it. He's kind of hit a slump again. 196 since August 10th. Padres are 9-7 in those games. Jackson Merrill hit .220 in the last 11 games before going on the injured list. Padres went 7-4 in those games. They're finding more ways to win without having their stars be stars, which gives you that little hope that, hey, if all the stars happen to align and produce in the playoffs, the Padres could be a juggernaut in October. We just haven't really seen it once this year.
Yeah.
Maybe very early in the season. Manny was going. Jackson was going.
Toddy was going.
Well, actually, Manny was a little bit less, but Toddy and Jackson were definitely hot early in the season.
Manny got off to a really good start, which was rare. I remember us making a big deal
He
about it. He got off to a good start. We're like, he's usually a late.
Since then, they've kind of alternated who's hot for a while and then who gets cold.
Like, Toddy gets hot, Manny stops being hot. Manny's hot, Toddy's not. It's just like at some point it would be great to gel.
But I don't think there's a person who watches baseball who goes, if the Padres all got hot at once, they would be probably the favorites.
Nasty.
Probably would be the favorites to win the World Series.
Yeah, I think they're the most complete lineup, 1 through 9. I really do. I say that, and that's not homerism. I really do. I look at that, and I think they're the most complete lineup, the most balanced looking team right now. They need, obviously, more help from their starting pitching, but the bullpen's good. The lineup is good. If they could start firing, Ben, on all cylinders, it would be pretty scary.
Yeah, Darren mentioned, seeing all 5 of those box score bullpen guys in the game on Tuesday. As an opposing fan, when the other team has like 3 nasty relievers coming up and it gets to the 7th inning, don't you feel a pit in your stomach? Like, we're down 2 and we got to face this guy, that guy, and their closer. Well, isn't that what other teams feel when they're facing the Padres and we're down 4-1 in the 6th inning. And they got Adam, Morejon, Miller, and Suarez coming up. Let's win tomorrow. Like, I mean, it's got to be very discouraging. I know baseball players are a little more even keeled when it comes to that. Like, it's just another guy. We'll go after him. But as a fan, I feel kind of hopeless when you go up against a good bullpen and you're down late in the game. It's like, ouch.
Yeah, Brash and Munoz. You're like, all right, well, this is going to be tough, and they damn near did it. So we'll see.
Like a taste of our own medicine.
Yeah,
Miller and Suarez,
and then that other dude they brought in that they pitched like 3 days in a row. That was nasty. That's why I picked them yesterday. I was really impressed by them.
We still have some Padres tickets to give away. If you've been listening to the program, you'll have an opportunity for a callback to win some Padres Orioles tickets coming up in our next segment. And for the first time this season, college football fans, Ben's Super Sexy Saturday Stinkfist schedule.
Got it in.
College football is coming up next year. Next year with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
To you by Park 101, multi-level sports bar and restaurant at the Carlsbad Village. Park 101 Sports Bar and Restaurant in Carlsbad. Catch the game with your fellow faithful this weekend as we take on Minnesota while sipping 22 ounces of Estrella Jalisco out of a souvenir bat. Park 101, Carlsbad Village, proud sponsor of the Padres Radio Network. And Paulie will have some headlines with the Rindle Report coming up. We're going to give away some Padres tickets for Tuesday night's game in just a moment. First, though, we've got our first full college football Saturday of the season coming up tomorrow, and I've got my lineup of your best options all day long. It's pretty obvious, actually, for the first game of the season. Do we put some music under this? What do we do with this, Paulie?
Yeah, we need some music.
College football tunes or something. We can get a fight song going. I don't know. The big game, of course, is the first game. It's the big noon Saturday 9 a.m. game featuring the Texas Longhorns, number one team in the country, Arch Manning against the Ohio State Buckeyes, the defending national champions, number 3 in the country. Early start in the Horseshoe in Columbus, Ohio. You're not going to see a much better, more anticipated early season college football matchup than that one. It'll also, of course, be a focus.
Sexy music.
Yeah, the Stinkfist music.
That's true. It'll also be the focus of all the pregame shows, including Fox and ESPN's College Game Day show, which will also be the farewell for Lee Corso, having his last hurrah on the desk with Kirk Herbstreit and everybody.
The last season or the last
game.
show?
He's not even doing the season. They're just bringing him back for one final show. And I'm going to say, I've never been a huge Lee Corso fan.
Yeah.
However, his impact on college football has been pretty massive over the years, and he certainly deserves his fond farewell from the ESPN crew.
I respect the hell out of him. I'm kind of the same way. I'm like, a little shtick. I'm kind of over it. But no, like totally hell of a career, and he was a pioneer for the game.
Yep. By the way, Ohio State last week named Carlsbad High School quarterback Julian Sayin as their starting quarterback for the season. So he'll be going against Arch Manning in that game.
What a good one.
All right, the 12:30 game. Best one, I believe, is number 8 Alabama visiting Florida State, unranked. So Alabama favored in that one on ABC. Interesting year. Kalen DeBoer entering his second season now as head coach, replacing Nick Saban. Obviously, the standards at Alabama are almost impossibly high. He did not meet them last year, did not get into the college football playoff. They were the team on the outside looking in. I can't imagine that will be acceptable 2 years in a row. So pretty big season starting out for Kalen DeBoer for Alabama, and they do so on the road in Tallahassee against Florida State. And then 4:30, you can keep it on ABC. We got 2 more top 10 teams meeting. Number 9 LSU meeting number 4 Clemson. Dabo, like Apple.
Apple. A is an
Dabo
apple.
Sweeney and the Clemson Tigers.
Brian Kelly against Dabo.
Probably their best team in a while. Preseason top 5 for Clemson.
Yep.
And if you want to really stay up late, you've got an old school, no longer Pac-12 matchup with Utah taking on UCLA, which I believe is now a Big 12 versus Big 10 matchup at 8 o'clock on Fox to wrap up the night.
Yeah, I'm looking through. These look good. You haven't missed many here.
And then, of course, there's Sunday games this week only, including your Notre Dame Fighting Irish and their new starting quarterback, a redshirt freshman, CJ Carr, who is the grandson of former Michigan head coach Lloyd Carr.
I love when they do that.
Seems kind of traitorous.
I know,
to
it
go from
does.
Michigan to become the Notre Dame quarterback in your family, but well, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it should be.
Marcus
and then
Freeman just went in and recruited him away. Maybe Michigan wasn't offering. I don't know.
Carson Beck is your starting quarterback for Miami. I'm not a fan. He's the one that transferred in from Georgia. But yeah, you never know, man. Mario Cristobal is the head coach of the Miami Hurricanes. I did see a report he wants to coach from the box, which I thought was odd. I mean, hey, I'll coach Little League from the car. You know what I mean? I want to be there. I need to be around my guys. And I don't know if it's like he's going to do it for a half or something, but for whatever reason, Benny, he wants to be up in the bird's eye view, and which is odd, I think, for a head coach. It's happened before a couple times. Mostly because
like
of injury,
or COVID or something.
So like a broken ankle, he's coaching on his back. All right, I get it, but I think he's fully healthy.
Is it weird because we don't really see it,
Maybe,
and we're just used to them being on the sideline?
Does it make more sense?
Think about it.
Can you see a lot more?
Do you have a better view from up there?
But don't you need to
grab your player, smell the locker room,
like Mikey Vera says? Can you really have a pulse of your team if you're not down on the sideline?
I don't know. I'm sure there's pros and cons.
I don't think I would like it very much as a coach. I'd want to be down there screaming at people, and you're allowed to in college football. You can't do it in Little League, as it turns out. But in college football, you can light these dudes up, and I would need to be down there. You get yelled down for get your ass together. Can you tell him to get his ass together?
I mean,
please?
if you've got
tell Kyle to come up here.
Here.
If you get a really trusted assistant,
Yeah.
who like knows the team well and knows what you want, and you can communicate with them in a headset, like, "Hey, how's it going down there? All right, light him up. Whatever you need to do." I guess you can make the argument, but I think there's a reason why most head coaches are on the sidelines, and the coordinators are the ones who are up in the booth.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. For college football is always. This now starts the weekly semi argument in my home, of like, hey, I'd love to, but I can't because I'm going to be watching college football, and baseball eats up obviously a lot of family time. The family's into it. Bo's a little bit into it, but Hannah not even a smidge. So this is going to be it starts
just quickly. Obviously, the world of college football has changed so much with NIL
Sure.
and now players getting paid directly. Did you see Dion's idea?
No. What was it?
So Dion said, and I thought this was actually pretty genius. He said, we should kind of do it like the NFL where, you know, the team that wins the Super Bowl, every player gets a bonus like $161,000 or something. And I thought that is absolutely genius because you have the problem in college football that only the stars are the ones who are really getting paid.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that get the big NIL deals. But you can't win a football championship without the linemen and everybody pulling on the same rope. So you're inherently creating this caste system where, yeah, the quarterback's got $2 million at NIL, but the guy who's keeping him alive, the left tackle, is maybe getting $20,000 or something, which totally doesn't seem fair. But
so bonus what? Just the
if you get to the college football playoff, you win the championship, like a series of player bonuses for everybody on the team. Like out of that TV money that they get.
Is that to replace NIL?
No,
That's
just
not
kind
just
of in addition to NIL, but it also would give, you know, the guys who are going to be drafted, you're not going to want to pull out of those games anymore because I got the draft. Hey, no, we win. I can make another $100,000, you know, if we do that for all the players on the field. That was a pretty genius idea by Dion to add that to the mix in college football.
It's just for the playoffs, right?
Yeah, just for the playoffs.
Not every
bowl game, but you could.
But I mean,
you could throw it in. I mean, part of the TV deal for bowls. I mean, they already treat them to all those gift baskets. But how about your gift basket has $5,000 in it for the players?
Is great, but how many players have opted out of a college football playoff game because of
not
their pro prospects?
The bowl game,
maybe the Idaho Potato Bowl, but not
that's true.
Not the playoffs.
All right. It is time. We've got one more pair of Padres tickets to give away for Tuesday's game against the Orioles. It is Manny Machado City Connect basketball jersey night for the first 40,000 fans. You can get your tickets at padres.com/tickets. Paulie, can you lock all the phone lines for a second?
Yes.
I want to give everyone an equal chance to call in and give the answer to our question from earlier in the show. I'm going to make this very easy. Who was our FRIAR Friday guest this morning at 7:30? If you were listening, that should be obvious. But if you weren't, then you've got, less chance. 833-288-0973. Unlock now. And the first caller with the correct answer is going to win the 2 tickets. You can get your tickets at padres.com/tickets for Manny Machado City Connect basketball jersey night, Tuesday night at Petco Park against the Baltimore Orioles. All right, we'll come back. Rindle Report in our final segment. Anything you'd like to tease for us, Paulie?
Got a story about a former longtime NFL player who's apparently fallen on hard times.
Okay, that is coming up in our final segment. Next with Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
A few of you did not remember that Josh Stein was our FRIAR Friday guest.
Yep. Got to be
Just
listening.
2 hours ago. Yeah, maybe you just weren't listening. Or maybe you forgot. You were listening and
so
just
intently.
totally forgot. We had someone guess Gavin Sheets. It was not Gavin Sheets.
Who's on the afternoon show today?
Ryan O'Hearn.
Ryan O'Hearn.
Is, I believe, scheduled to be the FRIAR Friday guest,
O'Hearn.
which is interesting.
It's a good
Talking to Chris Ello this afternoon, who's been pretty strong in his support of Luisa Rise staying in the lineup, but
you can have both. You can have both now.
You could put both in the lineup right now. I don't know what time that is, but stay tuned this afternoon for your FRIAR Friday guest. Probably early in the show, considering they're only on until 4:00.
Yeah,
because then you got your Sammy Levitt Eco Water SoCal pregame show at 4:10. 5:10 first pitch. It will be Nestor Cortez, Nasty Nestor against Zebby Matthews, the right-hander for the Minnesota Twins in game 1 of the series. The only other pitcher that's announced, Nick Pivetta, is going tomorrow. I saw TBDs for the Twins for the last 2 games and a TBD for the Padres on Sunday. My guess would be Randy Vasquez get called up from AAA, but likely that starter's not on the roster unless they go with the opener, Wandy Peralta, again, like they did when Randy pitched against the Dodgers.
Yeah, who's the so you mean like a piggyback?
With
Randy?
opener with Randy. That's what they did when he made his last start against the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Wandy started, and then Randy was the bulk guy in that game.
So looking at Zebby Matthews, 3-4 with a 5.30. It's just those guys that just chew the Padres up. Throws hard, He's got upper level fastball. Gets a lot of swing and miss. Gets a lot of strikeouts. So boys are going to need to put it in play. 4-seamer, slider, cutter, changeup, curveball, sinker. But he's primarily a 4-seam slider guy. We'll mix in the cutter 12% of the time, change up 10% of the time, a curveball very rarely 6%, and a sinker about 5% of the time. But you see these guys changing their pitch mix all the time, right? You saw Dylan Cease throw like the nastiest two-seamer that he's thrown all year. You see guys work, all of a sudden busting out a changeup, down here. There's so much tape and film and data on guys now. You have to mix it up. You cannot just go out there like Dylan Cease. He's had to mix it up. And when he did, like when he pitched against the Dodgers, he was really effective. Was very effective in his last start until he wasn't. So, when you throw 4 straight changeups to the 9-hole hitter, that's probably not going to be a good recipe for success. But, you need Nestor. Nestor knows how to pitch. It was really on display the last time he pitched.
Oh, yeah.
He was really mixing it up nicely.
And from the beginning, as opposed to the other starts where he struggled in the first inning and then kind of locked it in, Ruben Niebla challenged him, hey, let's be a little more maybe intense or whatever you need out of the gate. And it really paid off against the Dodgers. He went 16 up, 16 down?
16 up, 16 down.
Start the game?
Yep.
Very impressive. We'll see if he carries that over against the Twins this afternoon in game 1 of the 3-game series. This hour on Ben & Woods is brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store and everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $125 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 9/13 and save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples. Paulie wraps us up with the Rindle Report right after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Well, if you're driving out of town for the Labor Day weekend, now is the time to leave. The roads are in great shape. Got this one problem northbound 67 before Riverford Road. Collision involving a couple cars. It's over to the right shoulder. Yeah, if you are driving out of town, travel experts advise you leave before noon today because this afternoon's commute could prove to be a brutal one. If you can't make it today, then tomorrow morning between 6 and 10 a.m., the ideal time. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Rindle Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Rindle Report with Paul Rindle.
Hi, Paul. All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Rindle Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
All right. God, are you laughing, biatch? Still makes me laugh
gets me every time.
Single time.
That guy is off
It's been years.
He is off the deep end,
He
by the
is
way. He's on
a lunatic.
He's on Instagram. That dude, and it's not good. It's not good at all.
Are you laughing, biatch?
Leads you into the first Rindle Report story here.
Yeah, we
Or
can
the
start
second
there,
one.
man. We'll start in the NFL. I got a story here about a former cornerback. He played in the NFL for 11 years. The name does not ring a bell.
11 years? Same. He made $40 million his career. I've never heard his name. What is it, Paulie?
His name is Daryl Buster, Buster Skrine. Jr.
Buster Skrine. Does that ring a bell?
Skrine?
Buster Skrine.
Started with the Browns in 2011, played there for 4 years, then went to the Jets for a few years, then Chicago for 2 years, played for the 49ers for a season, and the Titans in 2021, and has been out of football since. And yeah, you mentioned his numbers because I went and looked it up on I never know if it's Spot Track or Spot Track. Spot Track. The NFL Spot Track says that in 10 years in the NFL, he had career earnings of over $40 million. Probably maybe some endorsement money in there as well.
Cash, man.
But yeah, he did pretty well for himself. And I guess he spent it all because he has been arrested by police in Georgia this week on 18 counts in an alleged financial fraud scheme. And this is a year after he became a wanted fugitive in Canada for separate financial fraud cases. He has been going around and using dating apps, mostly Tinder, to connect with women and start talking to women and then scam them out of money, saying that he was having money issues or down on his luck, couldn't get, needed $500 for whatever. And women were sending him money. It says
I
here
feel
that
like women are smarter than that usually.
I feel the
Guys,
same way.
no, you fall for anything. But
Oh, yeah.
what women are usually are skeptical. Yeah, you're right. You need money? No.
It says here that he used money. Police estimated it to total around $300,000 to, quote, support his lavish lifestyle,
Okay.
including financing Airbnbs, travel, and gift cards.
All right. So if I ask you for money and you give it to me, am I scamming you? Even if I tell you,
It's a good point.
Benny,
I
I
mean,
don't. I'm just things are tight and they're tough. Can I get $500?
That's not a scam. That's just asking for money.
This is the story that Paulie is presenting to me.
What was he promising in return? If it's nothing, then it's not a scam.
Friendship,
he said
love.
he'll pay him back, and he
I'll pay
doesn't.
him back. All right.
I guess.
So I got scammed recently. I gave the guy my debit card. The bank was like, "You gave them your debit card. You didn't get scammed. You're an idiot, and it cost you a pretty exorbitant amount of money." And I went, "All right, you're right." Honestly, like a scam to me was, "Hey, I'll send you this this baseball card that I have," and then I don't send it. That's a
You've
scam.
just won $100,000 in a sweepstakes, but you need to pay a $500 processing
it.
fee to get it, and then you pay it, and they don't send you the $100,000. That's a scam.
Jeffrey says you gave them your debit card. I did. I detailed all of this on the very first
Off the air.
Off the air. I told the whole story. It's quite embarrassing, but it can happen, right? So again, can I have some money? Yes.
I'll pay you back when I can.
I'll pay you back when I can. Did I scam
Is that
you?
legally
You kind of
binding?
blew
I
my
don't know.
mind here.
It's true though. Like I'm sitting here listening, going,
like, all right,
well,
ethically, total jerk move.
ethically terrible. moves.
Legally, does it hold up in
Does
court?
he have some recourse? I don't know. I don't know the whole story. I'm just telling you, based on the evidence presented to me by Paulie. Maybe he was doing something with technology. I don't know. Dominic says, but you reach out to somebody that's looking for love on Tinder, and people are lonely and they want companionship, and then it's like, baby, can you please help me? I am flat broke. I need $500, and he gets it. Is that a scam? If you willingly give it up, you got scammed, but is it illegal?
Here's the thing: whether or not it's illegal, I think it probably is in a way. I don't know, but it got on the police radar in Georgia is where he was arrested. But it says here he was wanted by police in Canada since last May after his first arrest. And let's see here, transferred to a Saskatchewan Correctional Center last April. He was given bail under the condition that he wear a GPS monitor.
Okay.
However, in May, he did not show up for a court date.
Got to show up
and
for
his
court
GPS thing, it went offline.
Okay.
So he's kind of been on the run.
He's been on
in
the
a lot of
radar
trouble.
for a while.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say this man is innocent. I think he's a
No,
scumbag.
no,
but
obviously.
I just wonder, if I ask you for money and you give it to me, did I scam you?
Good question. Yeah. All right, we'll move on
If you
to
lie about
by the
what
way,
you're going to use it for,
give me some money.
No, I'm not.
I
giving
need
you
a
any money.
sandwich, and I didn't
don't
bring my
ban-
wallet.
give
Give me
any money.
$20. I need
No.
a sandwich,
No.
and I just pocket it, and I don't eat
the sandwich.
The sandwich.
Is that a scam?
Did I scam Ben out of
No,
20
as long
bucks?
as you don't say I'll pay you back. Because if you say you pay him back, you better pay him back.
What's he going to do?
No, sir. Those are IOUs. They're just
They're
as good, as money.
Show me the crumbs after you eat the sandwich. I know
like-
what you like. You like Jersey Mike's.
I do.
There's
I'm
a lot. Those little
fantasizing about it
those
right
little
now.
seeds on the bread fall all over your shirt.
I'm fantasizing about it right now.
All right, we'll switch over to Major League Baseball. Just a quick story here. It's not just scoreboard watching season. It's definitely scoreboard watching season, but you're also watching what is happening with health of some of these players.
yeah.
I think about last week, look, you don't want anybody you don't like seeing people get hurt, but if you're chasing the Phillies and Zach Wheeler's out for the year,
You're
that's
like,
a significant
okay.
story.
Yep.
And we're talking about the Brewers today. They placed their closer, Trevor McGill, on the 15-day IL yesterday. I think they're still expecting him back later this season and definitely for the postseason run. But how significant of a blow is that?
No,
for the
McGill,
Brewers?
he's out.
He's
He's out,
for the year?
isn't he?
I thought it said 15-day IL.
I think he could still come back.
Oh, I don't think
I don't
so.
know. I know that the Brewers, who are the hottest team in baseball, have now lost 4 of 6 and 7 of 11. So they've definitely cooled off a bit, and pitching injuries certainly can be part of that. Their starting pitchers haven't been going as deep either. I think I saw the bullpen throwing like 60 innings in the last 14 days, and they had to pick up like Eric Fetty, who was like really bad.
Really
and
bad for
continued to
St.
be
Louis.
bad just to fill a spot in their bullpen. So a little lack of depth. Now, coming to roost with the Milwaukee Brewers.
So yeah, they're saying it's a flexor strain, right? And so They said 15 for sure. It's low grade. They said it's good. It'll take some time to get back to full
A
health.
lot of question marks.
I know if this is a Padres pitcher, Padres fans would go, we'll never see him again.
Never see him again.
That works in other organizations.
Man,
I
that's
know
tough,
how
dude.
our fans work.
30 saves for him so far. He's all-star.
Yeah.
That's a blow.
And then finally, I don't have a wacky, goofy, funny story, but there were a few people that reached out to us this morning. They just wanted to hear back Ben's alphabet.
100%.
And I said, you know what? That's a great way to wrap up the week. If you missed it yesterday, we played the voicemail that was going on TikTok, and the woman on the phone said, it's spelled P as in pork.
Pork.
And that just sounded weird. It sounded different. It sounded funny. So we had some fun with that and gave you Ben's alphabet debuted yesterday.
A as in all girls all the time. B as in butt cheeks. C as in champagne Hennessy. D as in
dang it.
E as in everybody loves a wiener.
Oh.
F as in female autoerotica. G as in ganja, aka cannabis. H as in hawk tua. I as in I'm so hot for her. I'm so hot for her. J as in jizzle. K as in King Gizzard. L as in loose cannabis. M as in N as in nudie magazines. O as in oh my god. P as in Petco Pork. Q as in what is a quahog? R as in ram it down. S as in stink fist.
Whoa.
T as in Tommy Lasorda was a great manager. Him and Steve Garvey were good friends. U as in Uranus. V as in Vogelsnatch. W as in weed gummies. X like the drug. Y as in yes. Z as in zoot suit.
Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me?
The laugh at the end kills me. And I like the pause.
The pauses. I told
pauses
Paul
are
the same thing. The
clutch.
pauses were clutch.
Gives you time to laugh and
Break
reset.
it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Phone conversation where someone calls and goes, "Yeah, my name's Tom." And you spell that for me. That's T as in
as
Tommy
in-
Lasorda was a great manager. He and Steve Garvey were good friends.
Oh my god. Earlier in the year, earlier in the year, one of my close friends, they had a baby girl, and I sent them a gift. And he is a huge Knicks fan, so I sent. They have the baby books. It's like the history of your sport, of the team, and A is for blank. I need a children's book, an actual bound book. Ben's alphabet. We need to make this happen.
Oh, we do. All right, gents. Have a good weekend.
Have a great holiday, everybody. We will be back
Tuesday.
Tuesday morning at 6 a.m.
Yes.
Hopefully after 4 Padres wins. For Paulie Rindle, for Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great rest of your Friday from all of us here at 97.3 The Fan. Braden up next. So long, everybody.